Football, presented by London Football TV. My name is Dylan Sherville, here with Coach McKay from the Banting Broncos. Coach, a little bit of recap on your season. You guys have had an exceptional season, building an exceptional program with the big fellas up front, with the incredible athlete in at quarterback. Talk to us about how your season's gone so far.
Yeah, so far it's been great. I mean, we've been building towards this for the last 4 years, gaining Coach O and number of our assistant coaches since COVID has been a real blessing. And, and the boys have committed. They've been working hard for, some of them 3 years. They believe in the system. We got some dogs in great positions, and we might not be the biggest team in the city, but I'll tell you what, our guys are as committed or more committed, more dedicated, and believe, as much or more than anyone in the city.
Absolutely, and when you look at your roster, right, you have talent all across the board, especially, on the offensive line positions. You have Marvin Hahn, committed to Waterloo, exceptional player. Talk a little bit about the grit that offensive and defensive line displays that allows you to do what you want to do in the program.
Yeah, we had some good grade 11s that had to sit and watch and develop last year, and we lost a lot of our seniors from the offensive line at the end of last season, so we weren't sure what we were going to have when we came in, Ben, but those guys up front worked hard in the off season, and when they stepped on the field this year, they were, I guess I'll say, a pleasant surprise to get going right away and show the city that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And a force indeed, absolutely. It's been a pleasure watching your offensive line operate. When I always like to compare it to like a song or a piece of art, where if everyone's moving in unison, all of them are doing their jobs at one time, it looks like art. Yeah. It looks beautiful, despite a position that traditionally isn't super beautiful. Don't want to have you give away too much about the game today, but what do you feel like you guys need to do or improve upon from the last matchup in order to secure a victory today?
Well, we've had to go back to the drawing board a little bit in a couple of key positions, as you know, and our guys have done it. We've had some guys step in and fill in some positions, we're a small step down, but I tell you what, it's a real small step. So I think what we're going to see today is what we have seen traditionally most of the season. Everyone in the city knows what we run on our offense, and we haven't changed much there. And, we're just going to have to, make sure that we outwill the opponent more than they do to us.
Absolutely. And when looking at kind of the landscape and where we're at right now for your team, an exceptional football program, an exceptional football team, right? With some of the adjustments, obviously, as you had mentioned, I'm not going to hit on them too many times, but still an excellent football team. Can't take anything away. You guys have rebounded incredibly well. You still have the players in the key positions that can make any defense afraid, right? So yeah. I won't keep you any longer here, Coach. Good luck in your game today, and hopefully it works out well for you.
Hey, and I just want to give a shout out to the Melrose and all you guys. You've brought a new rejuvenation and love and spirit to the game of football here in the city since CTV did it years ago. We haven't had something like this, so you guys have really brought a lot to the city and to the game of football in our area. So thanks for all your work.
Our pleasure, Coach. Good luck today, sir.
Thank you.
And we'll get you out here. And Dylan, absolutely. Good luck, Coach. An absolute meeting of the Titans here today, right? I mean, it's definitely one of those games where you just don't know, where this is going today, right? I mean, yeah, certainly we can all make some educated guesses and whatnot, but there's some magic players on both of these squads, right? Kids we've been watching in the city for 6-7 years in some cases, since they were 7 years old. Heck, if they're 18 right now, it's 11 years, yeah. Right? With some of these kids having played Almafe and summertime Stangs for potentially, up to 22 seasons leading to today. So there's a lot of hard work that we've seen on both sides of the ball. Really looking forward to it. We appreciate you joining us here on the stream today. Dylan and I kind of threw this together last minute. This was going to be a basic stream like we normally do, but the Sheriff stepped up, got his afternoon off of work. Talked about that too. I mean, you've got a company that actually suggests and promotes you go out into the community and volunteer your time and things like that, which is pretty special. There's a lot of great companies in town, so we're going to give them sort of a mild sponsorship today for letting you out today, sir. So talk about that and what are you expecting out of the game today?
Yeah. So first off, thank you to Excalibur Insurance Group for allowing me to volunteer today. They're very, very heavily involved in the community, something that they're looking to expand and grow. So if there is a community involvement or initiative that you are super passionate about, feel free to reach out. One of the things we do that's actually super awesome is a Read to Ride program. So there's 3rd and 4th grade classrooms, I believe in the counties right now surrounding London, where they read books as a class together on your own time, and you get to earn a pizza party. And there's a draw at the end for a brand new bike.
Threaten me with a
Right?
good time.
Exactly,
Right?
Pizza, and you might win a bike. That's awesome. Super thankful for Excalibur for allowing me to come out and volunteer my time here today. And yes, we have one heck of a matchup. Meeting of the Titans within the city here, and an absolute exceptional coaching staff on both sides of the ball, as we heard from Coach McKay before the game. Kind of keys to victory or major players that you're going to look at and see through a lot of today's game. I'll go through Banting first. Number one, Emmett Charles. Maybe a little bit of positional switch due to some let's say extracurriculars that happened in the last game where
That's a fair way of putting it.
yeah,
Yep.
where he'll have to play the quarterback position today. And then also Kovan Stahoviak, their wide receiver DB, has been running the ball incredibly well, catching the ball incredibly well, has able to make a lot of things happen in space for them. Lawson Hammond, receiver DB for them as well. Malik Madawi, a defensive end mainly, as well as a linebacker. As well as you're looking on the offensive line here, you're going to be looking at Marvin Hahn, commit to Waterloo that we mentioned earlier today, kind of leads the charge on that offensive line for this Banting Bronco offense. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this guy, Damon Kindry,
Yep.
their starting running back, played H, or the traditional fullback type role with the London Junior Mustangs in the fall, has shown to be one heck of a strong runner in their offense so far. So look for him to carry the rock a ton today. Banting's going to try and, beat the will out of you. Right?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Then Coach McKay referenced it earlier. They're going to try and run the ball some more. And when that doesn't work, they're still going to run the ball. Right? So when you're looking at this matchup, a traditionally undersized CCH defensive line that might have some problems today.
Yeah. Well, and let's talk about a guy like Malik Madawi for a second, too, who's played for us in the summer. Didn't get a lot of starting reps, but, man, when we needed an edge rush, that guy came through every single time. I think it was one game he had 3 sacks in a row when we were playing Oakville or something like late in the game. So definitely some studs, right? So let's flip. We had a great chance to talk with Coach McKay. Maybe we could see if we can get a CCH guy. It might be getting a little too tight to the game, but let's flip to CCH for a second, right? And talk about some of the juggernaut players that you've got on that list in front of you as well, sir.
Yeah, when you're looking at this CCH offense, I think it starts and stops with the offensive line, right? Led by Gio DeSando at the center position. There are also other very talented offensive linemen. Liam Davis, commit to Waterloo as well. William Hunt playing, I believe, the right tackle spot. Left tackle spot. Incredible athletes. They may lack a little bit in the caboose. I must say they are traditionally a little bit smaller than what you've seen from a stronger CCH offensive line, but they've been able to get the job done. And it's something where, they run the ball really effectively, and they have a running back who can do that. Keyshawn Manning, arguably the best running back in the city. I may be biased, but I think a lot of people would agree with me. Incredibly strong runner, and is very patient. Has that little Le'Veon Bell-esque to him when he was with the Steelers, not after that nonsense, but very patient, likes to wait and find the hole and then push it. And that's what this offensive line really excels at, is holding onto their blocks, creating opportunities for Manning to find holes. But I would be remiss if I don't mention the passing attack from CCH, starting with number 12, Jed Troupish, the third-year starter, and he's only, I believe, in grade 12. So he could start another year next year with all that experience, everything that he's seen from all the talented programs in the city of London. He's in a position to command the game here. He's got a couple receivers that can do that. Number 5, Mason Kiba, an incredible receiver. We'll be saying his name a lot today, as well as Tyson Serpa. Those are kind of the main 2 options that you're going to see from CCH in the passing game. It is a windy day here at One Password Park.
Yep.
Very similar to Citywide, getting into that wind tunnel where you will have the passing game and the kicking game affected, where obviously with the extracurriculars that have gone on, the special teams unit for Banting might have some adversity that they need to overcome today in order to secure a championship. However, Oscar Chmielewski, the kicker from CCH, again, I'd be surprised if he was playing next fall in Ontario. He's someone who is absolutely incredible. When talking with some of the coaching staff at CCH, and even for some other programs as well, for CCH to get it across the middle, to get it to basically the 40 and almost guarantee themselves some points, it's incredible. So it just adds another dimension that you have to account for and you have to defend for.
Yeah, absolutely. And, talking back with Jed, too, here's a guy who doesn't have a problem, driving in 45 minutes to an hour every day to get downtown London. He's another kid who's come out of the summer programs, too. And, Coach Joe called us out on the prediction show about, being in love with the summer program. But that's where the dogs are built. You know what I mean? And you look at most of the guys who play in the summer come to the high school. This is almost like back in the day when they came back to play McKay in the fall, right? They played in the trenches in the summertime. Then they get to come back and they get to play for, that hallway clout at their high school here, essentially, right? But man, have you got a lot of competitive players and Thunderbirds and Junior Mustangs on both of these teams, right? So it's been pretty special. And let's talk about that for a second, too. If you're just joining us on the stream, we're live here from One Password Park. Adam Melrose and Dylan Sherv's on the call today. One of the initiatives we will be putting forward today is the Super Thanks is turned on the stream today. So essentially, that's like a buy me a coffee system. But what we'll do with that today, that any of the Super Thanks that come in during the stream, after YouTube takes their little 15% or whatever it is, we're going to donate that right back to the community. So that's going to go to the LMFA and the Junior Mustangs for their funds that fund kids that play. So if you're watching the stream today, a great way that you can support, do a Super Thanks in there. And again, after the processing fee of that YouTube takes, we'll give 100% of that to local players that need help playing ball, because we want as many kids in the city playing the sport as we can get playing. So pretty special here down at One Password. We've talked about it a couple times too. Should we be at Citywide? Probably, but you know what? This is a beautiful field here in St. Thomas. Couldn't have asked for a nicer day, Shervs. It's about 4 degrees, feels like -4, but there's no snow on the ground. And I think we set a record years ago in the TVRA finals, me, Johnny Urban, and Ronnie at Citywide. It was like -25. My camera guy quit on the Skyjack in the middle of the third quarter. So I had to go up, and I was not dressed for the weather myself. So I had there's a picture of me somewhere with almost a foot of snow on top of my hood, because I was up in there just absolutely frozen running the camera, right? And it's already bad enough when you're on the top of one of those Skyjacks 30 feet in the air. When it's -25 out and then you're 20 feet in the air, 20, 30 feet in the air, it's even colder. And I couldn't ask for a more beautiful day, right? So reminds me a lot of the the TVRA finals last year between Lucas and South, kind of the same weather that we had. So seeing a few South logos coming around here. Mike Stenning just showed up with the trophies. We'll get a shot of those in a minute too. And lots of great cameras around the field too. So there'll be no shortage of great content surrounding this game today, Dylan. And we're just excited to get this thing started. So we're in under 15 minutes now, 2:01 on the clock. And just absolutely excited. So if you can make it down to One Password, please do. Otherwise, jump in the chat before the game starts. Let's get some score predictions, either win predictions or score predictions. Would love to see it. Obviously, this is kind of fun, too, because in the prediction show, obviously, Shervs, you're going to go with the place where you're on the Wall of Fame. I was the one-man wolf pack who picked Banting in this hunt. And then I think Joe picked the refs, which we great respect to the officials here in London, Ontario. Maybe at halftime, while one of those guys are, fixing their socks or eating an apple or something, we could grab maybe Shane and have a chat, because, this game doesn't happen if the boys in the stripes don't show up. So full respect to these guys for coming out. I understand there was a very, very hand-selected group here to call this game today. So it'd be nice to absolutely have a chat with those guys. And you're involved in the Seabreast these days too, right? So pretty exciting here. So lots of stuff going on in the city of London. We're under 15 minutes. Any kind of sort of final thoughts again before maybe we can try and go get a CCH guy, and we'll take a quick break here on the pregame.
For sure. So first off, we're going to shout out the third team on the field, and that is the refs. This reffing officiating crew is absolutely exceptional. They've reffed all the games all the way up to the OUA with the Western Mustangs, even Ontario Bowls as well. And we have the main umpire, we have the line judge here, Shane Rodriguez. Back judge is Gord Cockburn. Referee Jeff Dunham. Umpire Paul Pook. Downs judge is Mark Cameron, and the sign judge is Perry DeWale. I do apologize if I didn't pronounce any of those names properly, but when you're looking at this group of fellas, they know what's going on, right? And if you're remotely interested at all in participating in the game of football, reffing is the closest thing you're ever going to get to being on the field, and it's something absolutely amazing to experience when you're, I myself, 30 years old. I like to think of myself as a younger guy.
Yeah.
When I'm just getting torched by some 14-year-old who's running a 4.7, he looks over at me and just has a little giggle while that happens. So again, exceptional to be a part of. great group to be a part of. If you are interested, make sure to reach out. They do have their own Instagram. I believe it's London, Ontario Referees or London Referees.
London, Ontario officials.
There it is. London,
Yep.
Ontario officials. Great group of guys. Took me in, made me one of their own, and I would be remiss. This game wouldn't happen without them on the field. So
100%.
we are we're basically 10 minutes within kickoff. Kind of alluding to those scores there. I may be a little bit overzealous in the chat. I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. But I believe that this game is going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a one-score game, just like the first game that had happened. I believe it was a one-score game.
Yeah.
Where CCH had the ball and could have scored to win the game on the last play of the game as well.
100%.
I think we're going to see a lot of similarities between both games. Obviously, Banting doesn't have the game-breaking athlete that Jackson McKay is on the field. However, Emmett Charles is no slouch. This Banting team with McKay, absolutely exceptional as a high school team. Without him, they're still incredibly great. There is a little bit of a drop-off, but not much.
Yeah.
Because you still have the big fellas up front who do command a lot of respect when they do run the football here. So I'm going to take CCH in a 4-point win here. However, I could see this game going either way just because of how talented both of these programs are.
Yeah. You know what? I'm almost feeling like we're going to have a real interesting game. Like this one might come down to a field goal or a rouge.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm going to call a crazy number right now, but I feel like this game could be 11-10.
Okay.
A final,
Yeah.
right? And I think it'll be one of those just boot it through to hit the playground over here for the Rouge and win it. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be very close. These are two exceptionally coached teams. So with that said, they're going to be calling captain soon. Maybe we'll see if we can last minute get a CCH guy. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for the call here in about 5 minutes.
And we're back here with CCH coach Mark Howard, just discussing a little bit about your guys' journey, how you got here, some of the keys to victory. Talk a little bit about how the team has overcome some of the deficiencies from the regular season.
Well, I mean, we started the season with a couple of major injuries, that we had to overcome at the skill position, and we've kind of had to rediscover our identity a little bit as the year went on. Offensively, we've kind of stuck to what we know. CCH has always been known for pounding the football and taking opportunities where we can down the field. So I think we're going to continue to do that today. Maybe we have a few guys that are healthy and ready to go for the first time in a while. So it's going to be an exciting game. Two great programs, two teams that are loaded with athletes across the board. It's the season's always a grind. It's always an up and down emotional roller coaster. But there's a lot of guys that we want to win this game for. There's a lot of players that either are participating or not participating that have been a part of this program, made it what it is for the community around the school, our administrators, our coaches. It's an important game for us.
Absolutely, and it's typical of the CCH tradition, right? Getting to the big game, winning the big game, but a little bit of a different preparation for you guys over the last 2 weeks because of some extracurriculars that happened on the field. Talk to me about how that kind of changes what you expect from a team.
Oh, don't get me wrong. The player we're speaking of is probably one of the best athletes I've ever seen come out of the city, maybe ever, or at least in the last recent memory. You're gonna notice that he's a phenomenal player. You can't replace him, but they're a team that's deep. They've got guys in spots that they can move in, move out, change positions. We kind of have a pretty good idea what they're going to do. They have a pretty good idea what we're going to do. You're always going to miss a player like that, but they're going to rally around a kid like that and do their best to bring it back home so we can play again next week. And our job is to make sure that doesn't happen.
For sure. I obviously won't let you, spill all the secrets here, but what are some of the kind of keys to victory or things that you guys think that you can punish today?
Well, when you're at a stadium without any grandstands, the wind's always going to be a bit of an issue. So field position, special teams are going to be critical. Making sure defense stays off the field and possessing the ball offensively. We do those things. I think we have a pretty good shot.
All right, well, I'm not going to keep you any longer.
Thanks,
Good luck
bud.
today.
All right, man.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Appreciate it. All right, guys.
Good luck. Thank you.
Dylan, well, man, we got pregame chants going on. We got we're seconds away from this thing popping off. I'm super excited. I'm going to get up here on camera too. It's quite the thing we got going on here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining us. Adam Melrose, Dylan Sherville on the call here today, and super pumped to bring you this TVRA final against CCH and Banting, two juggernauts in the city. Earn their spot to play today, Shervs, and we're going to bring you all the content that we can here from 1Password.
And absolutely, that's the plan when you're looking at what's kind of the word today. The word of the day is going to be effort. As you're going to see a lot of coaches from basically almost all across the country going to be at this game looking for their next prospective talent. And you're going to find a ton of it on both sides of the ball here, whether it's offensively, defensively, special teams. We are in for one heck of a game. One thing I will note is that for the last 19 years, I believe, or since the 1990s, there has not been a 3-year stretch where CCH has not won a city title. And this is the 3rd year for this program where they now have an opportunity to keep that streak alive. So we'll see if Banting is going to be able to slay the Giants and then prove that they're the proverbial kings of London.
Absolutely.
Or will the CCH Crusaders complete their crusade to a championship?
Well, and here we go. So it looks like CCH going to be on kickoff here, Coach Shervs. And we'll get to see Banting go to work first. And just an exciting day here down at 1Pass. Camera 2.
All right, perfect.
So we're working out a 2-man team here. This is much like me and Coach Ronnie at the Cass East Elgin game once a couple of weeks ago. So should be good to go here.
We're going to get a nice shot of the kickoff here. Oscar Chmielewski with the kickoff. Big booming kick all the way down the field. Looking like it's going to be fielded by Emmett Charles at about the 5-yard line as he looks to use his game-breaking speed to gain Banting a quick field advantage. And he is quickly wrapped up after about a 25-yard gain for Banting to have some great field position to start their drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could just keep that one pretty much static there. So we're just working out the logistics of the cameras here. So just work the replay, Shervs, and we'll get 2 going later. So, yeah, I mean, just nice return. Obviously, we've been seeing the effort from Charles getting started nice and early here. And obviously, here comes the CCH defense. Guys like Agent Zero, Trey Potter getting in the mix. And we'll get you some security to back some of these people up on the sidelines as well, so you'll be able to see here at some point here, Shervs.
Absolutely.
So here we go. 1st and 10 for the Banting Broncos. Charles, he's got Kindry and I believe Stahoviak in the backfield. 2-by-1 set on the receivers. Barking out orders. Here we go. He's going to give this one off Stahoviak. No, we're going to pull this one. We're going to head field side. We're going to head right to the boundary right beside us here, Shervs, and get brought down by number 8 of CCH. Give me a name on that number 8 here, sir.
Number 8, that is Garen Rolls, traditionally an offensive player for the Crusaders. As we get the quick replay here, Charles pulling it, and that's what you're going to see a lot of from this Banting Broncos offense, utilizing their athletes in a way where they're going to be able to make a difference here. And Charles, one of those exceptional athletes, kind of the 1A or 1B receiver in the city of London here. Not surprised that they're using his athleticism early, especially with the threat of Stahoviak as the running back.
No, absolutely. So same backfield, 2-by-1 Broncos. Ball's good. We're going to give this one to Stahoviak. Stahoviak's going to get the middle, get brought down here at about the 53-yard line. So they're cross center here, Coach. And this should bring up a 2nd and 3.
And this is very reminiscent of their first game against each other. Banting ran the ball incredibly effectively against this Crusaders defense. Might be slightly undersized for a lot of what Banting likes to bring on the offensive line there, as we get number 65 in the mix, Ahmed Minhal, as one of the offensive linemen that are pretty big there to match up with Marvin Hahn, as we mentioned pregame. It'll be tough for CCH to stop this running game if they're going to be consistently giving up 7 or 8 on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. A pretty interesting start here for Banting. We know it's a windy game. Makes sense as we give this ball off to Stahoviak. Stahoviak's going to be short. Gets himself a couple here, Coach, but probably going to be bringing up about a 3rd and 1 situation.
Looking like to be a 3rd and 1. May or may not get a favorable spot. Looking like it might be 3rd and 2 here. As Stahoviak bottled up pretty quickly by number 60, Lucas Teixeira. I believe that's how they pronounce that name.
Tex.
As we're seeing now that it's looking like there might be a little defensive substitution here with number 52, Christian DiBernardo, coming into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So little guys coming out to the bottom of the screen here, number 4 and number 15 for the Broncos. And looks like we're staying in. We're going to give this one back to Coven. Coven's going to bang the middle. He's going to get stopped. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Crusaders in the mix. We'll turn this one over. First down, CCH.
And that's a quick turnover that the Crusaders forced. That's the momentum that you do not want to give up if you're Banting here. You're relying on your offensive line to push the ball down the field. Fortunately, getting a stop there for the Crusaders, allowing them to score or potentially score early in this game.
Yep, and if you're just joining us, thanks again for jumping on YouTube here, London Football TV, as we get about, probably 500-600 people here at the field here, Shervs. Again, a quick message, if you want to jump in and give us a super chat, all the proceeds past the YouTube processing is going to London football and teams that are looking to, obviously benefit players who need help playing the game. So here we go, Troopish, a couple guys in motion. We're going to give this one off to Sims. Sims rolls in the middle. Sims going to break through the second tackle. Third guy brings him down. It's going to be about a gain of 8 yards here, Coach. Should be 2nd and 2.
And that's what you want to see if you are CCH. Mimic that drive that Banting put together, right? Obviously minus the turnover, but number 20, Nathan Sims actually putting together a really strong run with the movement behind that offensive line.
Yeah.
I believe it was towards the left side of that offensive line. So you're getting number 67, Jordan Silvestri, kind of being that main culprit of the push there.
Yep, so here we go. A couple more men in motion. We're going to give this one back to Sims again. Sims, we can do it the first time and do it the second time. Makes 2, 3, 4 guys miss. First down, CCH from about the 38-yard line.
And I would be remiss if I did not mention the coach, Ron Ferwerda here. You're going to run left, and then run left some more until you can stop it. So Nathan Sims busted off another big run here. Interesting to see Keyshawn Manning not in the backfield for CCH here, but, the younger player, Nathan Sims instead. So going to be interesting to see how that develops over the course of the game. Nathan Sims has proven to be a very strong runner here, looking like a different formation in the backfield where they're getting flurried in motion outside. Another handoff to Sims. A quick wrap-up tackle there. Didn't quite catch a number. I believe that was number 45, Caleb Koopman.
Yeah, it was one of the linebackers. So 45 or 40 was in the mix there. Giving it back to Sims. So 2nd and 10 here, Coach, from about the 38-yard line. And we're in the 8th minute here, or 4 minutes into the first quarter.
Yeah, already some good movement on both sides of the ball. 8 minutes left in the first quarter. As you mentioned here, it's going to be interesting to see what CCH comes out in.
Here we go.
To pass the ball here.
Troopish dropping it back. Did he get his man?
No, he did not. He misses Mason Kiba there over the middle. Going to be a quick punt here for CCH, and Banting responds with a stop.
Yeah, and, obviously we knew what we were getting here, too. Juggernauts, both sides of the field. Big lines, lots of pressure coming from both teams here, Coach, and I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far from both sides of the ball.
Absolutely, and this is what you game plan for, right? You want to see what each team's going to bring out early and see what you prepared for, some of the changes that you might need to make, but it's going to be interesting to see how field position will play a factor in this game today with all the wind that we got here at One Password.
Nice big punt. Looks like we've got Stahoviak trying to get it out of the end zone. He does. Rolls off a couple, and we're going to get a first down here on about the 3-yard line.
And I believe that was tackled by number 10, Kevin Chavaria. Again, if I absolutely butcher some of the names or mispronounce them, I do apologize. But trying to get as many kids mentioned as we possibly can. And Banting will start this drive, I believe, on their own 25.
You can butcher all the names you want here, Shervs. You're working for free.
Absolutely.
Well, as we mentioned in the pregame, too, jump in the chat right now if you've got a prediction on where you think this game is going, what the score is going to be. Shervs and I put that in. We're on both sides of the fence here on these teams, and definitely looking to see what your opinion is. So throw that in. We'll get Shervos down there on the chat screen, so he'll be able to give you a little shout-out as well. Let us know where you're watching from. We usually get people watching these streams from Australia and from the States. So if you're, or maybe you're just in London because you didn't want to make the 45-minute drive, right, to do your thing. Here we go.
We got a couple students at Banting in the middle of the business class. So definitely a good use of time here.
I saw that.
So that's good to see as Banting begins their second drive of the game with Emmett Charles in at quarterback.
Yep, and Charles just going to pull this one. Shervs, he's going to work to the wide side of the field, makes a couple guys miss, and this should be enough for first down.
And again, Emmett Charles is still a very game-breaking athlete. Traditionally, right, if Jackson McKay was in there, that may have been went house, right? But with Emmett Charles there, he is still an exceptional athlete. This takes an exceptional Banting team to still a very, very great football team. So I would expect to see him more often now, just continuing to move the ball here as Banting's already picked up a first down.
Well, nice big huddle. It's a good thing to have on a windy day like this. Shervs, keep the boys warm, and we'll get back to work here. Kendry Stahoviak, Charles, and look, we've got a third guy in the backfield here now too, number 15 here, Coach.
That's Will McBurney, the H-back there. As I believe they handed the ball off to Stahoviak, who's still pumping, still moving, trying to get a little bit more room for Banting to continue their drive. It looks like he may have picked up about 3 or 4 there.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark this 2nd and 7 for Banting as Charles will stay at the helm and go back to work. Yeah, definitely heading into this game, certainly lots of conversations surrounding the fact McKay is not playing in this game. And but hey, you know what we've seen so far out of this offense, like you said, no big giant breakout plays, but consistent chunky yards. So I'll take that all day.
And that's what you're going to get when you have such a strong offensive line like Banting, right? They are incredibly strong and incredibly good at what they do. As we get McBurney here on a run to the edge, and he is swallowed up really quick by number 21, Jimmy Ladagny, as well as number 10, Kevin Chavaria from CCH there. Looking like it's going to be a 3rd down and about 3 or 4.
Yep, so that'll bring out the special teams. And I think McBurney plays in the summertime as well for the Junior Mustangs. I think he was a U16 JV guy this summer, if I have that correct. If you know, throw it in the chat. And yeah, if you're sitting in business class like some other people, I think at this point we're probably getting near the end of school for most classes, but hey, let us know where you're at today. It looks like we've got Kiba, and I don't have the other number here, number 1, I believe.
I believe that's number 7, Isaiah McLean back there as well.
On the
As we're getting
return.
support for both teams in the chat here. Banting on top, CCH on top, roll Broncos, on Crusaders, all that good stuff. As we're seeing Charles now replace as the punter here now for Banting as well.
Well, and where's Coach Everett Hamner singing On Crusaders? You know, we've got a great highlight reel of that. There we go. This one's going to be fielded by Kiba. Kiba makes a couple guys miss. A flag flies, and we had number 10 in on the tackle for Banting.
And that's number 10, Eli Willoughby. I believe that's how you pronounce the name here. Looks like, I believe it was pretty disciplined when we get the no yard. If they were to get the no yards penalty here, may have been a little bit close, but hey, if it's too close, that means the flag is going to go up. Great job by the 3rd team on the field here and our referee and officiating crew.
Yeah, again, a nice big shout out to the London, Ontario officials. Again, if you want to get involved in football, hit up those guys in the offseason. I know they're going to be running a level 1. Dylan, you've been through that too. Maybe later in the broadcast we'll get a chat about sort of, you know, that process and your experience in that system. But a great way to stay involved in London football. And guess what? These games don't happen without those boys in the stripes on the field. So we thank them immensely for being here today.
Absolutely. Can't play the game without them, and this is the best game on the planet, so you'll love to have them there.
Clock's
As we
one.
get Sims running the ball again for a big gain.
Absolutely. First down for Sims. He's going to get a carry about 13 yards there. And just a dynamic runner. Here's another kid I've watched play. His mom used to help coach at the LMFA once upon a time as well too, and just a great football family in the Sims, and you know, just you know, really strong runner. Without you know, obviously having Keyshawn Manning down is one thing, but knowing that you got Sims in the backfield there to back you up, that's pretty special as well.
And now we get to see the game breaker in the game, Keyshawn Manning, number 1, actually playing H here. Little swing pass to him, just unable to bring that in, forcing a 2nd down and 10 for the Crusaders here. You know, may have come in a little bit cold, so obviously with the wind and how it is here, may have forced the ball to not be where it was supposed to be, but ultimately brings up 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Crusaders looking good. I mean, Keyshawn Manning not being in, you know, at the Lucas game, I think we saw him on 1 or 2 carries. Obviously, they're just trying to keep him healthy. And play's been called in for CCH here. And we'll get back to work here in a 2nd and 10 situation with Troupish in the backfield. Troupish sending a couple guys in motion, gives it right back to Sims. Sims breaking out to the boundary side, gets brought down by number 4. And I think before the tackle, got himself a couple of yards here, Coach. So,
yeah, a couple yards and then a swarm of Banting defenders led by number 11, Malek Madawi here, the defensive line linebacker hybrid player. I believe that was also number 40, Lincoln Busso, coming in on the tackle as well. So good to see Banting still rallying to the football. Again, another big punt here, field position game. It's 3rd and 9 for the Crusaders. So we're going to see a punt to either Stahoviak or Emmett Charles on the field here, back all the way almost at their own goal line.
Perfect. Who do we got for a punter today for CCH?
Oscar Chmielewski, one of the better punters in the province of Ontario. As we see a high punt caught by Stahoviak, very patient, looking to see if he can bust it outside. Caught by a CCH defender, number 80, that was Daniel Cecinos. A few older brothers playing through the CCH program, the Cecinos family. Glad to see another younger sibling or a younger cousin come on out and join the blue and white.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Stahoviak doing a really good job, but man, are they burying these guys way down every single play here. So we'll need to start getting some more positive yardage here for Banting, so we can stop returning these punts at the 3-yard line here, Coach.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Coach Howard really emphasizes is that, everyone flows through the football and you play through the echo of the whistle. Those are two things that are majorly spoken about within the CCH program. I do know that also happens around the summer program as well. You flow to the football, everyone rallies to the football, everyone touches the ball carrier, right? And you play with effort and through the echo of the whistle. As we see Banting's offense come out, I believe, on their own 10-yard line.
Yep, and same backfield we saw in the last series as we give this one back to Stahoviak. Nope, we're going to play action this one out to the field side. Looks like we're just going to keep it, and definitely first down achieved on this one here, Sheriffs.
And again, Emmett Charles, a game-breaking athlete, right? He is able to have these massive runs as the quarterback keepers here. All they're doing is reading the defensive end, right? As the defensive end crashes in and follows the running back, the quarterback's going to pull it and take it towards the field. Or if there's an opportunity here where they're looking to roll out and pass the ball, if there's open green space, expect Charles to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Banting going back to work with a fresh set of downs here from their 30-yard line. Clock's wound in, and we're going back to work with under 3 minutes in the first quarter, live here from One Password Park.
As we get 3 backs in the backfield here, a motion to Charles. Fumble, ball's on the ground. And that is CCH with the recovery. Number 10, Kevin Chavaria with the recovery of the football. You cannot have those types of mistakes in this type of a game.
No, and I mean, turnover with amazing field position here for CCH. So with 2:36 left on the clock in this first quarter, we'll see if CCH is able to march this one down with their best start of the day so far.
Absolutely, and as Coach Howard and both Coach McKay mentioned early on in this game, that field position was going to be the factor here. When you do get a ton of wind in play, you're not going to be airing the ball out as much. It's going to come down to who's going to run the ball more, who's going to be more effective on special teams. How is that going to work? And with CCH, I believe, starting on the Banting 30-yard line here, almost the 25, it'll be interesting to see how those teams recover.
Yeah, and we've got a equipment exchange, and I think we had a kid coming out because he's missing gear, and all sorts of fun stuff going on right
That's
here.
Emmett Charles coming out of the game for Banting here, I believe, due to an equipment malfunction. Not quite sure what exactly that is. Might need a little quick bandage there. But I believe both teams are just going to get a little quick water here, and we'll get back to the action.
Yeah, I mean, from my angle here, I'm seeing Charles on the sideline with his elbow pretty much raw right now, so they might be wanting to just get that covered up. So I think the rule is, I mean, you're wearing the stripes these days, is that you get 90 seconds to fix that up and you get back in, or is he just out for 3 plays now?
It depends on the situation, right? If there has to be a play run in between, then they're gonna call him out for 3 plays here. Most likely, that's what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be three minutes, so he's out for 3 minutes. So that they're getting that. Sorry, he has 3 minutes to bandage himself up and then get back out there. Sorry. Thank you, Coach Stenning, for the rule check there.
Well, and it looked like 43 was in there talking to Coach McKay as well too, but I think he's been out for a while already today. Well, good stuff. Well, I mean, as the day gets later here, Coach, we get more and more bodies in the stands here at One Password Park. It's, if you haven't had a chance to come down here to St. Thomas, they say it's 25% more life at St. Thomas. It's 25% more quality football field down here, with the exception of the stands. Blows me away. Anywhere you go, even at Citywide, it's like, oh, there's, this giant field. Let's put seating for 20 beside it, right? So it'd be nice if maybe we worked the budget in here one of these times, so that I know a lot of soccer is played here and there isn't that many people, parents, especially for house league games and stuff, but it's what it is. As we get an airplane flying by here too, we pay extra for that. And the clock's going to wind in here, Coach, and here we go.
Yeah, did not expect an airplane flyover to be a part of the budget, as we get a quick pass here to Kiba as he is quickly wrapped up. I didn't quite catch a number there, but I believe that's number 43.
43 and 75 were involved in the tackle, and a nice little connection to Kiba here for about 3 yards. Should be 2nd and 7.
So 43 there being Tolga Kartoglu, the linebacker there, making the first contact as we get the quick replay there. Again, swarming to the football. That's what you want to see if you're Banting here, to have your defense still getting fired up and super excited.
Well, here we go. Troopish barking out orders. Going to give this one back to Sims. Sims going to carry it up the middle again. And man, is he just finding all those holes. Really nice patient run here, and that's going to be enough for a first down here, Sheriffs.
And when you look at Sims as a runner, right, he's very, I understand he knows where to go, but it looks like he's running blissfully unaware of anyone else that could really hurt him there. He's running without a sense of fear. He's hitting the holes hard and fast, and that's what you need there, because over time, that's going to really affect the defense. You're going to tire out the defensive line. You're going to make the linebackers hurt and not want to hit you. And you're seeing the exact same thing that Banting's doing on the offensive side as well, using their big offensive line to try and tire out those two-way players for CCH.
Right, and it's the nice thing here too for Sims is we see him carrying it again. More on that thought in a second. Goes into a pile of Banting Broncos here and gets himself some more positive yards. This is the last game for Sims till probably the May long weekend. So it's, let's just blow it out. Let's run that middle as hard as we can, knowing that we've got a few months here to hit the ice bath, and get healthy for the summertime season.
Absolutely, and on the quick stop there, Marvin Hahn, the two-way offensive lineman, defensive lineman from Banting there, was able to get the best of Jordan Silvestri from the Crusaders there, and that's a matchup to watch. Marvin Hahn, an incredible athlete, very new to the game of football, but not new to being incredibly physical. Definitely someone who can set the tone and make it really tough for your offense to move the ball.
Well, absolutely, as Trupish gives it back to Sims, and that should... Let's see where they spot it here, but no, it looks like maybe they're going to give this a third, so third and short.
Yeah, third and short, send out the kicking unit. The tackle made by Max Bukaboom, the defensive lineman, it looks like he's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman for Banting there. And again, they're big. They're incredibly strong. So I would really expect for Banting to try and muscle their way to slow down these Crusader drives.
Well, and it looks like we're going to see the first field goal attempt of the day here with Jim. No, we're not.
It's looking like it's third and less than one, and they're going to give the ball off to Sims, and he is going to make them pay, picking up about 3 or 4 on the play, I do believe, and that puts CCH in very, very strong scoring position here in the red zone. It's going to be interesting to see what Banting Bronco is going to step up and try to stop this drive.
Well, there's the buzzer behind us, and we'll definitely head into the second quarter here after this play, barring a penalty. And, man, did they have me fooled here, Sheriffs. I thought they were putting field goal out, but I'm thinking, well, I mean, you're third and inches. Why not? But same look, big rhino package here for CCH. We're going to give this one to Agent Zero, Trey Potter, touchdown CCH.
And that's what you need, the big physical fella coming through, Trey Potter, the vocal and the soul of this CCH team, right? Multi-year starter as a senior, someone who has faced a lot of adversity coming back from injuries and has now been able to put his mark on this game.
Well, we'll fix that score here in a second because Banting does not have 4. Right?
Banting also does not have -8.
Yeah.
We'll get that figured out here again. Two-man crew as we see Chmielewski come through for the point after. That is good. Kicked it almost all the way to Dorchester, and CCH goes up 7-0 over the Broncos.
Awesome. Looks like we got the score fixed here. We're going to head into the second quarter, and you're joining us live here on London Football TV. Two-man crew today, Mr. Sherville and Adam Melrose here on the call.
Yeah, we're going to get the teams quickly switching over here as we are going through the quarter change. Ultimately, we've seen a very clean football game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, this has been a solid game so far. So
absolutely. No major penalties. There's only been one flag, I believe, thrown. So definitely good to see there as we get the teams running out for the kickoff for CCH here. We're just doing some technical change-ups here, just making sure that everything is going to run super smooth over the course of the game.
Absolutely, Mr. Sherville. You should be back in business there, sir.
All right, we're going to get ourselves a nice little sideline shot of this kickoff here. And if I know what I'm doing, and I'd like to think I know what I'm doing, all I got to do is hold this thing still, and we're going to get a nice little action shot here.
Absolutely, Sheriffs. I got you on the switcher.
All right. Big kick down there. As we see the ball, I believe, go out of bounds.
Out of bounds, right at the goal line.
All right, out of bounds there as we see the ball, I believe, come out to the 35 or the 40 for Banting. So better field position than they had in their last drive.
Yeah, absolutely here. And we'll get started here in the second quarter, Mr. Sherville. So, all right, here we go. We got any more classroom shout-outs that we need to send out here in the chat?
Not at the moment. Just a lot of yapping going on.
Any YouTube retractions yet?
No,
No?
which is good, which is awesome. So just a lot of questions about what happened with Jackson McKay. Unfortunately, due to some penalties and extracurriculars in the previous game versus South, he has then been suspended for this game. So unfortunately, we won't see him in action today. And also saying the CCH line of scrimmage is dominant, traditionally, as they have been for a long time now. About almost 20 years now, they've been producing very, very high-quality offensive and defensive linemen coming out. But Banting is definitely no slouch. They have the bigger offensive and defensive line in the matchup today. And they do have a ton of talent on the line as well. Obviously, we've already pointed out Marvin Hahn. We've also have Max Bukaboom. We have Minhal Ahmed as their very, very strong offensive lineman. And as Coach McKay mentioned pregame, a lot of these guys sat for their grade 11 year and was just able to learn the system and buy in, and that's what's leading to a lot of their success now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see that a lot here in London High School. You know, the grade 12s are usually pretty dominant. But, I mean, you look at the CCH team as we see Charles take this handoff. He's going to keep it. They bite on Stahoviak up the middle, but here comes the boys to shut down Charles. And he's going to get himself a couple of yards on that carry. So bringing up second down.
First initial contact made by Jimmy Ladagny. I believe he's the defensive halfback there coming up. And then number 2, we haven't said his name quite often so far this game, but Nathan Summers, one of those impact players for CCH on the defensive side of the ball. I believe he had a pick 6 last week. So someone do keep an eye on as Banting now with a 2nd down and 8. Charles coming to the line of scrimmage, ready to command this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're still going to see Stahoviak in the backfield, Kindry out in the slot in a 2-by-2 look here from Banting. And Charles barking out orders. We're going to give this one. No, we're going to draw it back. Almost gets taken down in the backfield by number 24. And we're going to get this man right here beside us. And out of bounds here at about
we almost got involved in that one right there. Dylan Machado beating the offensive tackle from Banting clean across the line of scrimmage, so good job for him. But Charles, again, remarkable athlete, able to bust that outside, end up getting pushed out of bounds by number 9, Khalib Chapman, another former junior Mustang, as we get the mark on the 53 for the Banting Broncos. Again, we got the best officiating crew that money could find here running the game for us today.
Absolutely sure. I thought you were getting taken out on that one, buddy. If we have a camera from the other side, I was like, you or camera 2's getting absolutely lit up right here. So here we go. Charles going to give this one off to McBurney. McBurney makes the first man miss in the backfield, but pressure coming, and this will be a loss of downs. Yeah. Or loss of yards, sorry.
Loss of yards, so 2nd down and about 12 here. Swarm of Crusaders getting to the ball there. As you're seeing, the defensive line and the defensive ends forcing a lot of these very, very fast receivers and running backs from Banting to continue to kick out and extend the play. I believe number 7, Isaiah McLean, came up and made one of the tackles there, if I did get the numbers right. As we see again, behind the sticks here, something that you don't want to be. 2nd down and about 12 for Banting here.
Yep, a little bit behind the marker here as we see Charles give this one to Stahoviak. Stahoviak's going to cut up the middle. He's got number 60 shutting him down. And give me a name on number 60 here,
Number
Coach.
60, we're getting Lucas Teixeira, the 2-way offensive lineman, defensive lineman that has been spoken about a lot by Coach Bruno DeSando from the Crusaders, saying that him and obviously Gio DeSando being their highest graded offensive linemen so far this year. In offensive lineman grading, did you go to your assignment? Did you do your assignment correctly? And was there any extra effort or extra push down the field? It's not just okay just to get to your assignment. You need to be driving them 5 yards down the field. And that's something that they grade all their offensive linemen on. And again, they grade out as their 2 best offensive linemen this year.
Yep, so it looks like Charles, similar to when we see McKay in the game, will be in to punt this one away with Kiba and number 7 back to return this one. Now, was his knee not down there, Coach? Did you see that?
I didn't quite catch that. I was more paying attention to make sure if there was any offside defenders there.
Kiba on the return. He's going to make a couple guys miss, eventually brought down by number 10.
We got an injury here, not a player or a referee. Cameraman got a little bit too close to the action. We'll be okay there. Number 10 for the Broncos, Eli Willoughby made the tackle on special teams onto Kiba there. Again, Kiba can be someone who stops in a phone booth and leaves you some change. Did get swallowed up by a host of Banting tacklers there.
Yep. So, we're getting back to work here as the medical staff are just having a look. It's a little messy over here in between the benches. It's there's referees are running and doing their job.
Referees are running, university coaches watching, looking for their next best prospects that are going to potentially change their program and change the course of their programs. I count about 5 schools at minimum on the sidelines to my right now, and I know that there's a few other schools looking as well. So glad to see all these schools paying attention to the top athletes that we have in the city here, and it's going to be exciting to see where a lot of these kids end up.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly a lot of cameras and things going on this side. Something I've noticed over the last couple of years, too. I mean, everybody's trying to be the next purse shots up in this city, right? And we all know who shot that, though, all right? So it's good. But no, it's cool. There's never been this much great coverage of local sports, in this city, which has been just fantastic to see. So, and look at you down there, Sheriffs, getting in on the camera action, too. I appreciate it. Let's
see if I touch any of these buttons, will I break it?
There's a little slider on that one's real simple, right?
There we go. Perfect. We get those in tight shots as we see the coach, McKay, looking after his athlete there, and Emmett Charles. Going to be interesting to see how they adjust to this game and how they continue to rock as we see Jackson McKay come and provide some words of support to his I almost called him a colleague, his teammate there, as we're getting, I believe, an injury timeout here as we see the Crusaders meet up themselves in that blue and white uniforms there, reminiscent of a team down south there. As you see, meeting as a group, just making sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's nice that we have London and St. Thomas's finest crew out here to look after everybody getting banged up here on the field. So it's all right. So, while we've got a break here as well, too, plenty of great content to go back and watch if you're ever bored. The prediction show this year was a whole lot of fun. That was actually dreamt up by some CCH coaches, which we definitely enjoyed doing this year. It was fun. Like Ronnie said when we were doing the predictions for this game, it was really interesting to see, the amount of people that we're catching flack from in the in the different areas that we hang out during the week, right from LMFA right through to the high schools. We'd show up at it, just people just chirping. But hey, you got to pick one side, and it is what it is, right? So it's been a good time. So be sure to go back in there. Lots of great classic content on there too. I found a USB stick of DJ Fonte's whole 06 class, their last season of football, every game at LMFA that I've been thinking of throwing up there too for guys to go back and watch. There's guys like Keyshawn Manning on there too. And now we're going to clap them off. And so definitely something to go and check out. Again, we were talking about this earlier as well. We're doing a super thanks donation today. If you want to do a super thanks in the chat, all funds from a super thanks, it's a kind of a tipping system. But today we'll be donating all of that to local London players that need help playing ball financially. So if you want to put that in there after the YouTube processing fee, we will donate 100% of all super thanks during the broadcast right back into London football.
And as we see, the CCH Crusaders continue to charge on the offensive side of the ball here. Troopish handing the ball off to, I believe that's Keyshawn Manning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Picking up a quick 4 here for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Keish looking healthy too. We got a flag late in behind on the defensive side that be curious to see what came of that. But that was from the back judge, I believe.
And traditionally, not traditionally, but in the first quarter there, we've seen a lot of good things come out, not a lot of penalties, but a quick penalty here against the Crusaders, trying to get the call, and I believe it was an unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, I got a headset on, so I can't actually hear what they're saying right now. But looks that way. They're marching this one back
about 15 yards here, and those are the silly mistakes you can't be making if you expect to be a championship program, right? Cut out the silly mistakes, leave the stuff at home. You got 48 minutes, I believe, to play the best game in the world, with your 12 to 15 to 20 closest friends, right? So
well, and that's it. And for some of these grade 12s / grade 13s, potentially your last football game, right? So let's keep it clean. Let's have a good game here today.
As we see Troopish here trying to command the offense for CCH, Manning in the backfield. Let's see what happens.
Well, we're going to give this one to Manning. No, we're going to pitch this on a reverse to Kiba. Kiba's going to go field side, cuts it up. Great blocks in front of him. and he's got the edge here. A couple guys to beat, but here comes the swarm of Banting. He smartly runs out of bounds on that one here, Coach. But what a play.
What a play call. That is a gutsy play call. Those are the ones that you practice for weeks and weeks on end, saving it for a time like this. So,
did you get the replay?
I did not get the replay. I did not get the replay.
It's Dylan's first day on the replay button.
It's my first day on the replay button. Don't be too mad at me.
Hey,
I'll try to get the good ones when I can.
Don't worry about it. Coach Ron could never do it either. So, I mean, I don't know if that says a whole lot.
Hey, I got it a few times already.
You did.
So
You did.
We'll be okay on that
it's all
one.
good.
But as we're looking, that's a massive play by the Crusaders there to dig themselves out of a deep hole and get into Banting territory.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 48. Troopish sending a couple of guys in motion. We're going to give this one right back to Keyshawn Manning, who cuts through the middle, makes a couple of guys miss. Here comes Banting. Keish got the edge, goes out of bounds here at about the 20, it looks like. 1st down, CCH.
And that's why a lot of people call Keyshawn Manning the best running back in the city. Able to hit the hole hard, not lose a lot of speed when making his one cut and getting out of bounds safely so. I believe he was pushed out by Kovan Stohoviak, I believe is the wide receiver DB there. Again, another big run from this offensive unit that is the Crusaders.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get 8:31 on the clock as it winds in. Another set of 1st downs here. 1st downs for CCH as we get Troopish barking out orders here. Just getting a double check from the sideline. And we've got Mr. Keyshawn Manning again bouncing off his own lineman, finding a little hole here. He's going to get some positive yards here. 2nd down, CCH.
Yeah, bouncing off like a I say like a bouncy ball, right? Bouncing off like a bowling ball off of some of the pins that are his offensive linemen, right? And again, CCH trying to just get that push up front. Field's a lot shorter now. This is where something that Banting can take advantage of. They have the larger offensive and defensive line units. Can be something that they can take advantage of and secure the first level. It'll depend on how well these linebackers are able to scrape and find the clear holes there. Again, Malik Madawi, someone that we've already pointed out. I believe number 43 as well. Tolga Kartoglu, as well as Caleb Koopman, the main linebackers that we're going to be seeing for Brand.
Well, here we go. Sims back in the game. Is going to rush up the middle. Gets brought down by a bunch of Banting Broncos here. Number 4 in the mix. Looks like number 66 as well here, Shervs. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
We're getting the big fellas out right now. Potter coming onto the field. Machado coming onto the field. Number 45, Marley Asuncion coming onto the field as well. Expect to see a reminiscent of a tush push here.
Yeah, exactly. Without the double tandem buck going on here, of course,
exactly.
right?
Got to stay within the rules here. As we also see number 19, Christian Fantillo, come into the game, I believe, for the Crusaders in this formation.
Well, same big, massive look we saw before. We're going to give this one to Sims. He's got Trey Potter out front, rolls off, and just knocking on the door here. Fresh set of downs for CCH. 1st and goal.
And very reminiscent of that Sonic and Knuckles that we see just 2 hours south of here with the Detroit Lions is this Sims and Manning backfield. Both of them do both things incredibly well. Running between the tackles, they're both proficient at it. Running outside, they're both proficient at it. Unfortunately, the one drop from Manning so far, but hopefully they give him a chance to redeem himself as we see the same formation lineup for the Crusaders.
Fantastic Lions reference, Mr. Sherville, as we give this one back to Sims. Sims diving over the pile. What are they going to say?
I think we might be down at the 1 here, as that's the mark that we get from the officiating crew. Again, thank you so much to all the fellas that are wearing the black and white stripes today. Doing a great job keeping our players safe and the game as good as it can be.
All right, Troopish getting a call from the sideline. CCH in that no huddle. Let's just look to the sideline. Let's read the signals. That's fantastic training for the next level. And let's see if they can pound it in here, Sheriffs, with this big rhino jumbo look that we've got going on here.
Yeah, traditionally, I'll age myself
Sims.
a little bit, and we called this the Viking formation, but I believe Banting got a stop.
Are we going to get it again?
Oh, do it again.
Well, so linesman Shane, I don't know the last name, I'm sorry. Rodriguez comes running in, so 3rd and goal here, but like inches.
Yeah, you got third and less than a yard here, for the Crusaders. Knocking on the door, looking to put themselves up 2 scores. I think you just go for it here. You got yourself this far. Trust the big fellas up front to get the job done. I'm assuming we'll see Jed Troopish with a quarterback sneak here.
Yep, Troopish going to hold it, but we got whistles. Do we think and a flag on the ground?
Looks like it was offside on the Crusaders there. Most likely still going to end up potentially seeing what the Crusaders do want to do here. Because even if it is a penalty against CCH, you're 5 yards away. right? Do you just take the 3 and hopefully you're
Yeah,
able to stop
procedure.
Banting there? Or do you trust your team to pick up those 5 yards?
Well, they're definitely not sending out the field goal unit, Mr. Sherville, so I think we're going to see him go for it here. Mazel.
Yeah, we're going to see them go for it here as they're keeping Chmielewski on the bench. Overall, I think that this is a great call. You're already up by 7, right? Put Banting into some really awful field position here. Maybe force a safety, right? And what kind of tricks do you have up your sleeve in this formation here?
I think you just see Jetty keep this one again, or do we give this back to Trey Potter? Taking their time.
I think we might end up seeing some sort.
Okay, so we're hearing a don't move, so I think we're taking the delay
we're
of game.
taking the delay of game here and then going to kick a field goal. Obviously makes it a little bit easier for Chmielewski to end up kicking the field goal to put CCH up 2 scores, but you would have loved to see them punch it in there. Obviously those small mistakes make a big difference when it comes down to winning a championship football game.
Yeah, and it's we got the entire Banting team basically down on the goal line, which normally you're not supposed to go past the 15, but hey, it's champ day and we're just letting it happen. And we get a better angle on the camera anyways here. Sure.
Absolutely.
So.
I always like getting a better angle as much as we can, right? I think, when it gets to a game like this, kids are excited, coaches are excited. You tend to, the rules are slightly bendable, right?
Yeah.
It'll be something where the lines crew will keep the teams in shape as long as they're not doing anything egregious. Let them have fun, right? Ultimately, this is the best game on the planet, and let kids have some fun, right?
Well, here we go. Chmielewski ready for a little chip shot here.
However, this chip shot is definitely very difficult when it comes into the wind, as we see the kick, and it's through for the 3 points for the Crusaders.
Excellent. So 3 more on the board, which I could do from up here.
As we look at the chat here, good support for both teams here. Someone mentioning that this game should be happening at Citywide. I don't think Adam or I would disagree with you at this point. Ultimately, you'd love to see this game at Western with all the stands and at a better time so that, parents can support their kids, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, would love to see that happen. And, we'll see what happens next year. But we got ourselves one heck of a game here right now happening between the CCH Crusaders and the Banting Broncos, with CCH up 10 points. And Banting, I believe this is their 5th drive of the game.
I think you'd be pretty correct there. So clock's wound in. We're going with a fresh set of downs here for the Banting Broncos. Same sort of look we've seen with Kindry and Stahoviak. Emmett Charles at the helm. As we give this one, no, we're going to pull this. And almost had McBurney downfield, just overthrown. Overthrown or underran? What are your thoughts here,
I think
Mr.
the
Sherville?
wind definitely played a factor there. McBurney, one heck of a receiver. Had the outstretched arm, almost got it into his hands. And I think that's also a little bit of a difference from what we see is that, maybe if McKay is in the game, that might have been completed to Charles in order to move the sticks. But unfortunately, just slightly incomplete. And this game comes down to inches here. So expect some plays to just be missed by a few inches, and that'll make the difference.
Well, here we go. Charles sending a couple guys in motion. He's going to draw it back, looking to put this one in the air. Pressure coming. And did we get the pick, or did it bounce off the deck? You had a better angle. Looks like Garen rolls almost on that one.
Garen Rolls ended up dropping the pick there. Great play on the ball here, though, to end up coming to try and catch it there. Did have to end up took the worst of it from his own teammate, so we will see how he responds for the rest of this game. Looks like he's walking under his own power, though. But great pressure from the CCH defensive ends there, and Dylan Machado coming down, and just unfortunately that they couldn't hold on to the ball there. They are going to force a punt.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Unable to move it on that set of downs. And let's adjust the clock so it's correct. There we go.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes, 11 seconds here in the second half. As we see some late substitutions come in for the Crusaders. Emmett Charles back as the punter with that kind of mini shield there for the Broncos. Number 8, Francis Henna, running back as well. And you also have number 20, Damon Kindry, blocking the punter there. As we get a short kick
The
from
wind
Charles
caught that
there.
one. Surprised they haven't blown. Did they blow it dead? Yeah,
They blew it dead.
Okay,
Looks like it's going to be at about the 52 or 53-yard line there. As we'll wait to get the spot from our officiating crew. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 53. And the CCH offense, again, with incredible field position here. They put the field goal up on their last drive. I bet that obviously every team wants to score, but they're looking to end up putting up a touchdown here and really try to extend this game going into the half.
Yeah, absolutely, Sheriffs. And sounds like a little miscue coming in here. Clock's running. And here we go. CCH little bunch formation to the near side of the field. As we give this one back to Sims. Sims gets swallowed up by 43. Gets about 2 yards here, but 43 doing a great job of filling that hole, Coach.
Very interesting formation that the Crusaders came out in, but again, yes, number 43, Tolga Kartoglu with the tackle there. We've said his name quite a few times already. He's been one of those impact defenders for Banting at the second level. Interesting to see how that matchup has gone with Sims and the linebacking crew from Banting as Marvin Hahn comes out of the game for the Broncos, and Francis Hinna comes in as a defensive back, traditionally a running back as he had played in the summer, but definitely very effective on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, here we go. Troop, you're sending all sorts of guys in motion. Look into the air. He's got his man downfield, number 6, complete. And he's got a couple guys to beat here. He's getting it all the way down to about the 15-yard line. First down, CCH. Hit me with that number 6 here, Coach.
That's Marcus Fleury, the number 1 option in this offense when it comes to the passing game. Actually had an injury that took him out of the game versus South in the week 1. Now he's getting an opportunity to come play, make a difference in the city final. And what a play he has made for this Crusader offense. Obviously, no team looking to go through the air a whole lot just due to the amount of wind that is coming through. But to have those plays and have those chunk plays through the air come alive for the Crusaders, it's just another thing that you have to defend if you're Banting.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've got the wind at your back like he just did, let it fly.
As we see again the pistol formation coming out from the Crusaders, handoff to Sims, a massive hole there, quickly swallowed up by a group of Banting Bronco defenders. As quick as it cometh, it is taketh away by the Banting defense, as I believe there was about a 4 or a 5 yard gain.
Yeah, and 67 on the O-line. Who's that for CCH, Coach?
And that is Jordan Silvestri. You've said his name quite a few times already in the matchups, against Max Bukaboom and Marvin Hahn. Someone who does have a ton of stress playing that right tackle position. The right tackle and kind of the obviously every single position on the offensive line is important, as we've seen here, but has had some of the more difficult matchups over the course of the season for the Crusaders.
Yep, as we have a little jet motion. Kiba making a couple of cuts, going finally up at the hash marks, brought down by 75, 40, and 43 of the Banting Broncos. Little late effort going on there, Coach. But
I just like to see you play through the echo of the whistle. So great job for the Broncos there. As we see again, Tolga Kartoglu come through on the tackle there. Lincoln Busso come through as well on the tackle. And I believe it was number 9 or number 8 that came through as well. I believe number 9, Lawson Hammond, defensive back as well.
Lawson Hammond, London Football TV cameraman, which we'd love to have him up on the ladder right now as well too. So
yeah, I think he's got a little bit more important things on his mind.
Yeah, and I told him when we were doing the LMFA finals last week that I said it'd be nice to have you, bud. But here we go.
All right, we're getting the field goal unit up for CCH here. Banting looking like they have an overload to the CCH Crusader left side. Chmielewski puts his foot through the ball, and another 3 points goes to the Crusaders.
That one almost looked like it was going over that fence at the back here. But, yeah, 3 more on the board for the CCH Crusaders. Let's get that looked after.
And something that I always like to say, obviously you can't win a championship off field goals, but CCH trying to prove me wrong. Obviously, you'd love to see them put a little bit more points on the board, but when you can't get the yardage, you can't get the yardage, and that's something where you got to have a better effort in the red zone next time. Banting will take the ball on the 35 and start their drive.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that strategy. You are able to ask for a kick, no? Or you can just play it from the 35,
Yeah, you're
right?
able to ask for the kick, but with traditionally where they've started their drives, right, within their own 20.
I'd be there too.
Take it on the 35 as we get this demon look with 3 backs in the backfield. Charles pulls the ball, looking to make a difference here, and quickly swallowed up by number 35 for the Crusaders, Michael Wojcik, the linebacker coming through and making a play.
Yeah, Wojcik just doing a really good job, just sitting, doing his read react drill, getting down there and putting the work in. So great job.
You see some substitutions coming through onto the CCH Crusader defense. 65, Liam Davis coming off the field, getting a little bit of a reprieve as someone who plays both ways. Number 52 coming into the play here. Christian D. Bernardo coming into play, nose tackle there. As we have number 35 as well, Michael Wojcik in the game.
Yep, Charles, Stahoviak, and Kindry in the backfield. We're going to give this one to Stahoviak. Stahoviak's going to cut up the middle. Gets himself a couple of positive yards here, Coach. Should be 3rd and 4 or 5, I think.
And that's been the expectation that you would have wanted if you're Banting, right? Give the ball to Stahoviak, give the ball to Kindry, punch the ball down the field 4 to 5, 6 yards at a time, and take the ball out of the Crusaders' offense's hands. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to do that. They've gotten stopped on some key plays that have put them behind the sticks where, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 10, things you don't want to be in. Number one, if you're missing your starting quarterback. Number two, if you can't pass the ball very well. So starting to see a little bit of that field position come into play as we see the punting unit come on out for the Broncos.
Well, and the punting unit coming out, and look how much closer the returners are now. Obviously, that last punt hung on the air. The air is blowing right in our face right now, so expect another high punt that the wind will catch here for sure.
Absolutely, and that does have to put some doubt. As we see a fake punt here coming out from the Broncos. The Crusaders quickly get there, and I believe he actually picks up the first down.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just gets across the 45, which is what they needed. And hey, championship game, sure, might as well just pull out all the stops at this point.
Absolutely, you got to take it as a one-game series, right? You're not going to end up, you'd rather say I wish I did rather than I wish I would have.
Heck
right?
yeah.
Run those fake punts, run the trick plays, as we've seen both teams do already. A great awareness play because CCH is only sending 2 rushers for the punt, right? So with that lack of a rush, it doesn't allow Charles doesn't have to rush to get anywhere. He just has to be able to secure the ball.
Well, now he's gonna pull it from Stahoviak, run it right back towards you again. We've got a couple men coming in for CCH, brought down by number 4.
And that's William Monroe, the halfback, coming through with the play. Great stop for the Crusaders as well, as Charles is getting up a little bit gingerly here. He's taken quite a few hits already.
Yeah, I mean, when you're kind of that guy on the team and getting a little beat up, he's been a soldier here today, but that's, this is only the first half of football. So lots of work here for Mr. Charles ahead of him today and 2 more quarters of football after we wrap up the last minute and 6 here of the first half here in the TVRA finals.
Absolutely, and it is something where, you got to continue to stand behind your guy. If you're an offensive lineman here, you got to block just a little bit longer. If you're a halfback here, you got to run your routes just a little bit better and try to break open some more space.
Demon look again. We're going to give this one to Stoviak. No, we're going to pull it, and we're looking downfield. And we got our man downfield. Oh, no, the ball comes out. Number 9 jumps on it. Hit me with a number, Sherbs.
That's Khalib Chapman jumping onto the ball here after it's fumbled by number 12, Isaac Clavette. And honestly, the main thing, obviously, the turnover is great, but the sportsmanship after. Hey, Clavette, obviously a little bit upset, gets picked up by a Crusader. Pat it on the back and say, hey, man, let's keep playing. So glad to see the sportsmanship coming out, but that is that's something that you just can't have happen. You have the great pass rush coming through from Machado, as we see on the screen here. Charles throws a beautiful ball here, and honestly just ends up fumbling the ball. So it's just really unfortunate. I believe that was actually Fatih Dredd who caught the ball, number 4. So my apologies there, as he caught the ball, and the ball was stripped by number 8, and that is Garen Rolls.
Well, we're going to give this one back to Keyshawn Manning. Manning cutting up the middle, gets a first down and some. First, let's move the chains, CCH.
And that's something that you're going to see from the Crusaders, right? Establishing the run, continuing to pound the rock. We got about 33 seconds left in the half here. Ball gets started when the ref blows the play back in. So that means you have an opportunity to call play and get right on the ball here.
Well, Kiba playing, okay, he's just getting set. Troopish having a look downfield. Just a little shovel pass over to Keyshawn Manning, who blows up the middle. Brought down by number 9 of the Banting Broncos, but that should be enough for another first down.
Yeah, and I believe that that's a timeout for the Crusaders coming through. Again, another play that you don't see too often, right? 1st and 10. Who's thinking about throwing a screen here?
Right? Yeah.
So you have Kiba a little bit confused in the backfield. Is he playing coy? Is that meant to happen? But we won't know, and we probably will never get an answer. So interesting to see that the CCH Crusaders are now going to that air attack, trusting Troopish to lead this group down the field and potentially score again before the half.
Yep, 14 seconds. that was the CCH that just took their timeout?
Yeah, CCH took their time out there. I would assume that we're probably going to see maybe 1-2 more pass plays here and then just bring out Chmielewski for potentially the long field.
Yeah, I expect a pass to the field right now, too, with all this wind coming across right in our face right now. I don't know why I'd be throwing into it, but here we go, Coach.
Yeah, and we're going to see, I believe, a 21 look here with Pistol in the backfield as number 6, Fleury, takes it out of here. And we see that double reverse here. Troupish escaping. Ball is out. Oh, and defended incredibly well by Emmett Charles there. Staying safe, understanding that Marcus Fleury was running a route he actually came from field to boundary there to run that route. Great ball by Troupish, just, Emmett Charles making a play to keep his team in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Was actually able to get that angle just over all the players on the sideline. Hey, 6 seconds here, Coach. 2nd and 10 for the CCH Crusaders. Looking to see if we could just put a couple more points on this board.
Yeah, you're going to look to see that potential bunch formation come out with number 19, Christian Fantillo, Tyson Serpa, Mason Kiba, and Garen Rolls here as we see this kind of quad bunch look that I haven't seen in many years.
Oh, here we go. Troupish barking out orders. Hits Kiba. Kiba's on the carry. He's going to run this right out of bounds. And there should be 1 second left.
1 second left on the clock here.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of.
We're getting the meeting of the minds here from our third team on the field.
We are getting that 1 second. I had it right, and I'm filming, doing play-by-play, and running the clock, Sherv. So I'll take the credit where credit's due.
Yeah, we didn't get the horns coming, so there must be less than 1 second.
This is true. This one's got a horn, unlike
That's right.
When we were at Lucas last week, where it just kind of winds down to zeros. Well, here we go. So they're going to adjust this 1 second, essentially one play, with the exception of if there is a penalty. And it's 3rd and 1. So, I mean, it's all or nothing right now to try and get points on the board.
Yeah, and we see Emmett Charles again shading over to that trips bunch look that the Crusaders have right now with Rolls, Kiba, and Serpa as Keyshawn Manning looks to already set as a blocker here. So you get the horn tooting off.
Troop is just going to keep this one.
Let's see if he can make a play here.
Gets off the first man over here, cuts through. Number 4 eventually kind of lays the boom, and that should be the half, Mr. Sherville. One heck of a first half here from One Password Park. You know what? I think we thought this was going to be a touch closer at this point, but, CCH came to play per usual, but as did Banting. We're seeing good stuff both sides of the ball here for sure. And, yep, no worries.
Absolutely. Definitely strong play by both sides of the ball. You've seen where a little bit of that difference has come from for Banting to be able to obviously have a little bit of a setback when it comes to losing your starting quarterback. But, they still move the ball incredibly well. The CCH defense is just taking advantage of the opportunities given to them, right? Every game of football comes down to the 3 to 5 plays, right? And when we look at the kind of major plays that have happened already in the first half, we have the fumble by Fatih Dredd, the receiver for the Broncos. We've had the large runs by Keyshawn. We had the reverse for Kiba.
Yep.
That has been a major play as well. So a lot of movement here from both sides of the ball. What do we think the halftime adjustments are going to be?
Well, I think we're going to see. Here's the challenge with Banting is Charles is going to be involved.
That's right.
What I mean? So he's either going to keep it or he's throwing it. And he used to be wide receiver 1. Now we got Stahoviak, who should, I think, be out in that slot more often, and we should be trying to hit him. Hard to do in a windy day, right? So I don't think it's too hard to key on what's happening in the backfield for Banting right now. And Joe, if you want to join us, man, jump on a headset over here, buddy. There's one on the far side. Joe Harris of London Football TV Live coming to hang out here on the sideline, saying hello to a bunch of people. So I don't know if I saw. I thought we were going to have Coach Schneider coming in talking beefs. No big deal. But yeah, so sorry. Back to your question. I think for Banting, you need to find a new way to surprise them, right? You need to find a way to, there's got to be somebody else around the ball or that we can hit the ball to, right? I think CCH, I don't make a whole lot of changes. I think I just come out and run exactly what I did in the first half, and I see success in the in this second half of the game as we bring in Joe Harris on the broadcast as well. live to you from One Password Park. Welcome to the cast here, sir.
Howdy, gentlemen.
And Everett Hamner coming in too. I mean, it's just where's Ron? Is Ron here somewhere? Right?
Oh.
I wish I had a microphone for you, sir. But I mean, if you could get in real close like David Bowie and Mick Jagger, like uncomfortably with Joe Harris here, if you really want to say something. So you got to zoom out there,
Yeah,
cameraman Sherville. But no, a heck of a first half. Joe, your thoughts? You've been watching from the other side.
Yeah, I got here about halfway through the second quarter, and actually, I thought both teams were doing stuff right. Like you're getting movement. Banting's missing that explosiveness, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you guys already said, but CCH looks good. That's not a surprise. You knew that was going to be the case.
Yeah, absolutely. And Everett, congratulations on your junior win as well too. We're just kind of hitting back on that, and I think we all stood at the London Football TV headquarters and talked about this game, right? And on the last broadcast, and I think a lot of what was said in that room in the prediction show we're seeing today, right? And as I was just saying to Sherville, I think if I'm CCH coming out in the second half, I don't change a whole lot, right? It's working, it's round, it's rolling, and we're seeing success. I think with Banting, what are your thoughts here? If you're the OC at Banting, what are you coming out with here, Joe?
If they're going this way, they can pass.
Right.
If you're going this way, good luck. One can run the ball. He can run that QB option really well. I think you got to stick to the ground game. It's not that it's a big wind or a big snow game, but it's the wind.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have that short game dialed up, those air raid passes that I love so much, but. Actually, the only short pass I saw was the CCH guy. It was an in route for 15, 20 yards maybe?
Yeah, I saw that little
screen,
the
right?
screen.
That
Yeah.
So that besides that, you're not seeing a ton of passing anyways.
Yeah.
But that's not how either of these teams got here. So Banting's got to stick to what got him here, even though they don't have the horse.
I'm really surprised that Damon Kindry hasn't gotten the ball more. I'm surprised that Damon Kindry hasn't gotten the ball more. Someone who actually gashed them for, I believe, over 100 yards in their last matchup.
Yeah.
He's got to get the ball more. He's got to be more involved in the offense. Whether you're getting the ball in his hands on a leak or whether you're handing him off the ball, he's someone who's such a strong runner that you can't keep him out of the offense. And he's also been contributing on defense. You got to reward that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sims, being the bell cow too, right? It's been nice to see him run. It's interesting when you look at at Lucas, you got the Bordeaux Sigurdsson thing where you've got sort of that like clone, but the year down. I see a lot of that in the Manning Sims, because Sims is a grade 11 as well too, right? So you get that nice little 1-2 punch. You made the Sonic and Knuckles connection, which was a beautiful reference, by the way. We like video games around here, so it's good. But yeah, really an exciting first half. And if you're just joining us again too on the broadcast, throw in your love for either team on either side, or you know what? I've actually, Joe, I got more love comments about you in the LFTV live show. Everybody's like, man, we love the STA guy because he's just like
Nothing to lose.
He's that no BS, just straight to the point guy. He's not fluffing any of his calls. He calls the refs in this game. You know what I mean? So it's good. But it's been a nice little connection in the show too. So I think it's great. You know what? I think we're probably, I don't know if they're running a clock here for the halftime, but they're not. But it's been good. So, Shervs, any other thoughts on changes you would make if you're coming out here in the second half?
Yeah, if I'm Banting, you have to really focus on stopping the running game, right? Whether that's adding another person in the box, because again, these teams are not going to throw. They're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to continue to pound the rock, and you got to stop that. So you may have to add someone else into the box, right? That might have to be an adjustment that has to be made. And on the offensive side of the ball, I think you got to just keep doing what you're doing. Get Kindry involved more in the offense. He was your bell cow the last time that you really played against this team, was the hammer. So go back to that.
Yeah.
Right? Try to get something a little bit different than you haven't seen. Maybe something a little bit more kind of horizontal, not with Charles, right? Have someone on that kind of jet sweep motion, maybe play off of that. But this CCH defense is playing really, really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say both defenses. Like the fact it was only
I
7-0 when I got here, and then they didn't score a touchdown. They only took 3. This is not the high-scoring game I thought it would be. So
yeah, no kidding.
Respects to Banting defensively for holding it together so far.
Yeah, Everett, if you want to come around, I got to check batteries on cameras, so you can take my headset for a minute, and let's get a perspective here from CCH.
All right, we'll bump over here so we use the
Hello.
most of our shot here.
Check one. Check. Hello.
Everett, as a non-biased third-party observer of the
Third
no, I'm just
party,
kidding,
yeah.
exactly.
I do want to say on the way out, I had the stream tuned into my Bluetooth on the car. It was like radio. Listen to the radio. Call the game. You guys had a great. You guys did a great job. I didn't see it, but I heard it. So sounds like we have a good game, good first half of football, and that's what you want in a championship game, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and we do have a tight game here, right? This game could have easily have been 21-0 heading into the half for CCH. The Banting defense was able to get 2 stops, right, when they have not had the best field position all day. So it is a ton of credit to that Banting defense. They're just going to have to continue to do it again and again and find an extra possession, right? You're down 2 scores here. You got to find an extra possession to try and get back into the game.
Yeah, definitely. And it's halftime here in a championship game. Is 13 points going to be enough to win the city championship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be in a windy day
As of
like
right
today.
now, yeah.
All you need is one more point than the other team. So
That's
I
right.
guess,
How are we feeling about the white on white colorway?
Hey, that's all I wore. So traditionally, the
Terrible.
blue pants were just never worn. They were worn for special anniversary games. I never got one of those in my 3 years of playing with the senior team. So I like the white on white. That's the look. That's the championship look that you want to go with.
we did our juniors. We were wearing all blues here
Nice.
on this very field. So I was saying to some of the senior coaches that the junior team, we warmed the field up with a Crusader championship
No,
win
that was your first game here, right?
this year. Yes, yeah.
This is probably
Beautiful
my favorite
facility.
I
field.
love
Yeah,
this.
nice.
I love
Don't
this
like
field.
where it is, but I'm sure you guys talked about this
Yeah.
earlier. Like
The wind. It's windy here today. Yeah.
Yeah, the wind and then lack of seating would be a little bit of a negative, but the field is genuinely beautiful. It's great quality.
yep.
You love to run, it feels good when you're running on it, right? Not that I do a ton of running, but it felt great setting everything up here today. So definitely a great facility.
oh,
Years
my
to
boy
come.
Josh.
Oh,
Hope you're
here
doing
we
well,
go.
buddy.
So we got some in the chat here.
Thank you for the donation.
First super
Hollander.
on live stream. Yes,
That's
we
right.
appreciate that.
And the proceeds are being donated to initiatives in the community that allow kids to play football. London Minor
Not
Football
CCH.
Association. Definitely not CCH.
I haven't
Um,
received a cent either.
Yeah. Wait, you guys are volunteering too? Or-
Who's getting paid?
No, we're getting paid? No. Great option for being able to use the super thanks and things like that to go towards community initiatives like the London Minor Football Association, like the Junior Mustangs, that will continue to grow the game here in London and surrounding
Actually,
area.
I'll give you guys props. What was it, 4 or 5 junior championships
It
now
is
CCH has?
5 consecutive championships
So-
for the CCH junior football
This is
team.
good for the senior coaches because there's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of
Exactly.
questions if you can't finish in senior. after
I
winning all those
believe
juniors.
in all the boys in white today that they can close it out. But yes, 5 straight championships for our junior team and also 5 consecutive undefeated seasons in that stretch. So the guys are saying, as the kids like to say, CCH junior football has been a wagon.
A wagon.
Wagon.
All right. Well, as we're getting set for the second half action here, I believe we're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll jump into the second half. Thanks for
All
joining
right.
us, fellas.
We'll jump. Hey, you know what, Everett? Why don't you hang as we're coming back on air here, guys? The other headset is. Oh, it's hung up on the other side. Grab one of those. And I'm going to get back up on camera here, guys. Just All right, so welcome back to TVRA Championships. And Everett, you're going to be on channel 2 or 3. Just unmute yourself, one of the little gray buttons, and we'll get right back to work here. Here we go.
Test.
As Banting getting prepped to kick this one off, and we're going to get Shervs back in the mix, get a little hydration. And this kick is away, and it's going to be fielded by Kiba. And Kiba making a couple of guys miss. And he'll bring this ball up to about the 35-yard line here, gentlemen.
Good. Very quick halftime, which is good.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Sorry, I gotta unmute myself there. There we go. Very, very quick half, which is good. Obviously, would like to keep these kids as warm as possible to prevent any injuries. And again, that CCH Crusader offense looking to put it together another scoring drive.
That was good coverage on the Banting kickoff team, really getting downfield in a hurry. Didn't give the Crusader return team much time to get much set up. So good coverage there.
Yeah, here we go. New running back in 34 here, and a flag flies.
Yeah, would not be surprised if this was a holding penalty here.
34 is Cruz. He is a grade 12 returner running back, a provincial track star, so very, very fast.
A lot of that going on in the city. I think that's what we need to start spending more time at the track clubs, Shervs, when we're recruiting players for the summer. Now, if we can find linemen at the track club, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, they'll be the ones throwing the shot put in the discus, I think.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
individual. I may have done that myself in a time long ago.
All right, so it was holding. So we'll back this one up and replay it.
And again, the mistakes that you really can't make if you want to continue to drive and put together a championship team here, you got to take away the easy to fix mistakes. You know, the offsides, the holdings, the things like that. Obviously, there's holding in every play in football, but you just can't get caught for it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Well, here we go. Jetty Troupish sending a couple guys in motion. We're going to get this one to Kiba. Kiba's going to cut this one up the middle. Makes a couple of guys miss here. Great effort. Finally brought down by somebody hiding in the middle. He was trying to get you a number 20.
Number 20, I believe that is Damon Kindry. We mentioned him in the break there. He's contributing a lot on defense. They just haven't given him the ball enough on offense.
Yeah,
Good push by the Crusader offensive line there to get a hold. That's one of the battles I'm sure you saw in the first half is that offense-defensive line matchup. And on that play, Crusader offensive line got the advantage.
Yep, little 2-by-1 situation here. Guy coming across in jet motion. Nope, let's give this one to Keyshawn Manning. Manning's going to just run through a herd of Broncos. Get CCH that first down, and we're going to move the chains.
And again, one of the better running backs in this city, Keyshawn Manning, you know, the kind of 1A to 1B to a lot of folks here. Just continues to do what he's here to do, right? Run the ball, follow the holes, follow that big offensive line that CCH has. Surprised to see that Banting hasn't put up that much of a fight right now in the running game, but obviously they gotta try and put something together here to stay in it.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go back to work here, CCH on their 54-yard line. He's going to give this back to Keyshawn. Oh, no, that's Nathan Sims. Almost breaks through. Is finally brought down here by number 9, number 4, number 40's in the mix there too.
Number 9, Lawson Hammond. Number 4, Fatih Dredd, playing both ways here for the Broncos. Again, making some great stops to preventing some scores here, but CCH moving the sticks again.
Yeah.
The fastest way between the shortest way between 2 points is a straight line, right? Last two plays, Crusaders just going straight up the middle, and they're getting first down. So good early ball movement here by the Crusaders.
Well, we're going to get Kiba motioning across here. Still got Manning in the back. No, check that. That's Sims, who we're going to give the ball to, who gets off one tackle, but is brought down pretty much at the line of scrimmage here, guys. They'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Swallowed up by number 43. We've said his name a bunch. Tolga Kartoglu, the linebacker for the Broncos. And that's number 69, Max Bukaboom, coming off the field for the Broncos to hopefully stop this CCH drive. CCH 2nd and 8 on the Banting, let's call it 41.
Yeah, great play by the linebacker there. Not sure if it was a blitz or just reading the run, but came right downhill and met him at the line of scrimmage.
And that's what we saw a lot in the first half, is those linebackers heavily flowing to the ball. Great pass, great completion here to Manning, and he continues to move the ball. gets caught up by the turf monster a little bit, but after a Crusader first down.
Funny to hear Turf Monster here on this fresh turf at One Password Park, too. I mean, I believe it, even after they put the new turf in at Western, there's still those little divots. But here at One Password, I don't know if you walked the field here, Sheriffs, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
So,
it's beautiful. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Honestly, you'd wish that there was something like this at a lot of other fields in London. Definitely a high quality field. The turf monster's always there, right? It grows in legend, right?
Oh, yeah.
First year that it's here, it's just a little guy, right? A little trip here, a little trip there. Then the longer more people play on the field, the bigger he gets.
Yeah, well, let's give this back to Sims again, who's going to take this one right up the middle. Huge yards brought down by number 9 and number 7, but that's going to be another first down for CCH.
And a tackle by number 7, Ryan Ball, and number 9, Lawson Hammond. We've said Hammond's name quite a few times. The fact that the ball's getting to that third level of the Banting Broncos defense presents a lot of problems. CCH marching again on their way to potentially put some points on the board.
Yeah, some of these tackles, it's been that last line of defense that's needed to make the tackle, and fortunately for the Broncos, they have been able to make the tackle, but been able to move the chains pretty well, has this Crusader offense on this drive.
All right, getting some late adjustments here. Troopish commanding the offense. Quick snap, assuming a handoff to Sims again here as he breaks loose to the left side of the formation, looking to get to the corner, stiff arm, and jumps into the end zone. Do we have a score? Yes, we do! Touchdown Crusaders, that is Nathan Sims with the touchdown off to the left side.
Okay, cool, man. See it.
And we start to get the cheers on the sideline for the Crusaders. They're all jumping around. They're getting excited. They know that they're putting this game potentially out of reach for the Broncos.
So we'll see Oscar. That's great. A great drive by that Crusader offense.
As we see the sideline celebrate there. There we go. We get the excited CCH sideline celebrating another score here for the Crusaders. And the extra point, I would assume, is through.
It was through, yeah.
To go up 20-0 over the Banting Broncos.
Putting a great play calling. I think I like the play calling by Coach Howard, offensive coordinator. Ran the ball between the tackle, and then maybe if you get the Broncos thinking it's coming between the tackles again, they did that, dump it out to Keyshawn on the far side, get the pass, and then went back to running the ball up the middle. So really good play calling by the Crusaders there.
And get your playmakers the ball in space, and it's an opportunity where you can get yourself a score, and that's what they did. As we see the offensive lineman coming on off for CCH, knowing that they've put another scoring drive together as we get another kickoff from the CCH special teams unit.
Sam Lorenzo in the chat, former Crusader alumni. When we were there, he's tuning in saying, "Go Blue."
Well, here we go. Kick is away, heading towards Kovacs-Stahoviak's back corner, and that's going to go out of bounds.
It's hard to, when the wind is coming, you can't tell if you're watching on the stream, but towards the sideline where that ball went is where that wind is pushing. So anything that's kind of flirting with near the sideline is probably going to get pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, today's one of those days that if those little flags were at the top of the uprights, they'd be flat right now.
Flat and straight up, right? The wind is just blowing right in our faces here. Definitely makes it more difficult to throw the ball, although we have seen some success from both teams from when it comes to throwing the ball. Now it'll be interesting to see how Banting responds here. What adjustments have you made over the course of the half that'll allow you to put your first points on the board?
Yeah, well, we talked at the half about what adjustments need to be made. Let's see if we see it 2-by-2 with Stahoviak in the backfield here, Coach. We're going to give this note. We're going to pull this. Charles heading to the field side. Gets by. Oh, he gets tackled in the backfield here. Maybe a short little loss here.
And I believe that was number 80 for the Crusaders, and that's Daniel Cicinos. We've mentioned his name a couple times already today, but a host of CCH defenders are in the area as well.
You really try... Banting was trying to get that corner to turn up field, but Sinos was able to, and the Crusader defense flowing to the ball well to kind of prevent them being able to turn up field.
And that's something that Banting's tried to do even throughout the course of the first half, is to try and get that corner, get the edge that traditionally Jackson McKay would take something down the sideline. Emmett Charles, still an incredible athlete, but just hasn't been able to find that edge yet.
Well, let's give it back to Stahoviak, who's going to get a huge run. He's got a couple guys to beat. Gets it all the way down to the 40-yard line. First down, Broncos.
And that's what'll gain the momentum back for Banting. These big chunk running plays that they had in their first matchup that snuffed out the Crusader offense. You need to move the ball well and on the ground. Good to see Stahoviak getting involved early and often in this second half. That's going to be who they're going to rely on. Between Emmett Charles, Coven Stahoviak, and Damon Kindry, those are the guys that are going to have to lead the charge on the ground for this Bronco offense.
Well, you heard Ron talk about it in the prediction show too, right? Coven's one of the fastest kids in the city, right? So why not put that rock in his hands? Let's see what he can make with it.
Absolutely, and then when you have complementing pieces like Will McBurney, right, someone who can still throw the ball or catch the ball, as we see Stahoviak making a couple men miss in the backfield and still ends up gaining about 7 or 8 yards as we see a flag come in late there. Believe there may have been some head contact there, maybe targeting, potentially unfortunate, but you know, you got to keep the player safe.
Yep, that's going to go against CCH. So, I mean, nice patient run there from Coven as well, too. Basically just hid behind his own lineman and was able to get loose for a couple of positive yards. So, we're going to get an automatic first down here, too. So, we're going to get a 1st and 10 from way down the field here now.
And if you're Banting, this is what's going to try and put those points on the board for them, right? If you're Banting, you got to score here. If you don't, it just makes your life terrible. And when we got some people asking in the chat for Owen Askew, number 61 for the Crusaders. Haven't seen him much on the field as of yet. Hopefully we'll see him throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, you need to, the Broncos, this has been a good drive. You need to put some points up on the board and answer the Crusaders' last touchdown.
Charles going to keep this one for himself, heading to the boundary side, gets out of bounds, and another flag will fly.
Flag comes in the play again. May have been some holding there from the offensive line on Banting. Traditionally, when it comes from that part of the field, that's what you're looking for, is those holding calls and the offensive tackles, the H's coming out of the backfield there. So we'll see what the call is.
Haven't seen, yeah, holding offense. This one's gonna come back against the Broncos.
And when you see you have all that momentum, right, you can't waste it with a selfish penalty like that. Holding is very preventable, in the eyes of an offensive lineman. You move your feet a little bit better. You put your head on the right side, and you end up moving your feet. And then obviously the ref won't call it, right? So when you stop moving your feet, you get a little bit lackadaisical, and then your hands do some things they shouldn't be doing.
Well, here we go. Clock's going to wind in. 5:31 as we see Banting in a 1st and 20 situation at the moment. And Charles is going to pull this one. Went to look for the air. He's got his man just a little overthrown to 15, and that'll bring up 2nd and 20.
And a lot of pressure there from Nathan Summers coming through as the outside linebacker. A little bit of a love touch at the end there, saying, hey, I'm here. I'm what you got to worry about. And Charles just not able to connect with Bernie there.
Summers, real good job not biting on that fake and able to keep contained, forcing them to try and dump that little touch pass, floater of a shot, of a pass. And we've talked about it in this wind, those kind of finesse passes, the wind's going to probably push that ball. That might have been a little bit what happened there.
Yep, here we go. Charles having a look across his face. Nope, he's going to have to keep it. Pressure's coming. Looks to get rid of it, but I think he was out of bounds first, which they're going to call.
Yeah, it looked like he was out of bounds there. And ultimately, he had a great angle on the corner there. The CCH Crusaders did get a little bit of pressure up the middle with number 60. That's Lucas Teixeira coming through. Just, unfortunately, stepped out of bounds.
Well, I think I just heard the words field goal come out. So we're going to kick this one into the wind here, Coach, and maybe see the Broncos putting the first points of the game up.
Yeah, wind really pushing towards the sideline here, right in our faces. So it'll be interesting to see how the wind will affect this kick. As we see McBurney jog back onto the field there, as we'll get a different angle on this field goal for you guys on field level. The Crusaders in a traditional, field goal defense here, thinking that Banting might run some sort of fake where they don't have a ton of pressure coming up onto the line of scrimmage here, but they have enough players. And number 5, Mason Kiba back to potentially secure the ball if there is a miss.
Call it a 34-yarder. right in front of the CCH bench. The bench is making some noise. Kick is up, and it is wide left. Keeps going to get a chance to pull it out, but he's going to give himself up there at about the 3 to 4 yard line.
Just a little bit wide to the right there. And that's the direction that the wind's pushing us, right? Went from good to a little bit bad for this Banting Broncos team where, they just had a little miscue. That holding penalty made all the difference on that drive.
Oh.
Yeah, and Kiba gets it out of the end zone. Ends up, sliding on his tush there. Take the ball at about the 25 or the 30, depends on where it is. I believe it's, the 20-yard line there. And the Crusaders will start their next drive.
And maybe the deepest part of the field that Crusaders have had to start a drive from today, Mr. Sherville, I think.
Yeah, traditionally they're starting, anywhere after the 30. So on their own 20. Not that it's going to phase them a whole lot, but we'll see how this affects the play calling.
Well, we got Keyshawn Manning in the backfield, and we're going to give that ball to Mr. Manning. Manning making a nice little first man miss by the spin move. But I think that's going to give him a couple of yards. So it'll be about 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7 here.
And we saw the CCH offensive line 15 yards down the field pushing that was Lincoln Busso that was getting blocked all the way down the field. You can secure the first level well enough, but you still got to block everyone there. Keyshawn only getting about a 3-yard gain. Meanwhile, the offensive line's all the way downfield.
So here, this is a big second down for the Bronco defense. Because, again, 2nd and long now. It's harder to throw the ball in this wind.
Well, here it comes. Does 75 get a hand on that?
I believe 75 did get a hand on that, and that is Merrick Jacqueline de Tibero on the coverage there, or on the little sitting back there. Junior Mustang player, unfortunately, was injured for the entire summer, but getting involved quickly on the defense, forcing the first punt of the half for the Crusaders.
Well, here we go. We're going to punt this one from about the 23-yard line with the wind sort of at your back to the left, and looks like we've got Stahoviak and is it Charles to return it?
I think very well we may end up catching the ball here.
Oh,
okay.
Almost.
Quick catch there. That's Stahoviak on the return, pushing it to the field side.
Got Charles out front, blocking here. He's got 11 in trail, trying to bring him down. 35, I think, for CCH finally comes through.
And there's a flag on the play.
Shuts that one down.
That was a fairly early flag on the return there, right at midfield.
Yeah, looking like it was one of those pedestrian blocks, so you can't block towards your own end zone anymore, just due to player safety. Looking like that's going to be the call here, as we did end up having that block. I believe it was number 11,
Banting.
Madawi, but they're going to call holding instead. Hey, I'm not going to tell the refs how to do their job. They saw something I didn't, obviously, so obviously they're doing that for player safety, making sure the game is officiated well, and they've done a great job so far.
Yeah, I mean, absolute hats off to the London, Ontario officials. Go follow them. They actually put some pretty cool content up, and that's something we're going to be doing in the offseason, especially, is working with the London officials to put a couple different segments together, just explaining some of the rules that maybe some of the parents just don't know as well, or that most Canadians don't know because all they know is NFL ball, right? So we'll work on that with the reffing crew, and looking forward to that in the offseason here as we're going to see Banting go back to work here, Sherps, and Everett from the 42-yard line. And we got Stahoviak in the backfield with Emmett Charles.
Yeah, Charles looking to potentially take this one, but they hand it off to Stahoviak. Stahoviak contacted in the backfield by a host of Crusaders, still pumping his feet. They're getting some distance here, and eventually number 52, Christian DiBernardo with the tackle. Dylan Machado in there as well.
Slow to get up.
Looks to be an injured Crusader on the play. Is that a pulled hammy, or something's a little bit cold and you end up moving a little bit faster than you think you should?
It's chilly here for sure. I mean, and really nobody biting on that jet motion there, too. It was just Stahoviak trying to make something out of it up the middle.
Yeah, and he was able to get something there. Sorry there, Everett. I'll let you continue there.
I was going to say, if you think that last drive, Banting's last drive, started about the same place positionally, and they did the first play where they tried to get to the outside. Second play, they did that inside handoff. Exactly the same play there, just didn't quite get maybe the blocks that they were looking, but great job by the running back there, able to keep his feet moving, and that maybe got him an extra couple of yards there on that play.
Is Terrence Sapp, is that 52?
52 is Christian DiBernardo.
Okay.
Terrence Sapp is number 56.
Okay.
Good to see him up walking.
Yeah, it may
Yeah,
just
maybe-
be a little pulled calf, pulled hamstring, you know?
He was in there on the tie. He's kind of jogging off now, so hopefully just I don't know if he got at the bottom of the pile, maybe something like that. Anyways, good to see.
It's always good when the players are able to come up under their own power here. As we see the Bronco offense look to take the field.
Yeah, it'll be 2nd and 6 as we wind the clock back in. Just under 3 minutes in the third quarter, live from One Password. Everett on the call from London Football TV Live as well, joining us with Coach Dylan Sherville as we see Emmett Charles sending a bunch of guys in motion. He's going to pull this ball from Kovan Stahoviak, makes a man miss, has to dive forward. It's going to bring up 3rd down here in about 4 yards.
Yeah, quick decision made as soon as they see the end. Hesitate. Charles, obviously an elite athlete, looking to pull the ball, make something happen for himself. Just unfortunate that he wasn't able to break the ankle tackle.
Summers again there, linebacker on that play. What did they tell you to do? Is don't lose contain. Summers
right.
there came downfield, forced inside where you have help. That is textbook defending. Don't lose contain, force inside. That's what happened there. Forces a 3rd and 3.5. Do you go for it? Looks like they are.
I think you have to there when you are part of that offense there, and we're seeing the Broncos offense approach the line of scrimmage in an important 3rd down here that we're going to see. It's looking like they're actually going to line up in the punt formation, but we need to remember that the Broncos did fake a punt. I believe it was in the first half,
Yeah.
where Charles took it for about 15 yards. So do have to be aware of that as well. Make sure he does get the ball off, as this is a booming punt from Charles that Kiba does have to come up and approach as he collects the ball safely. Breaks a couple tackles there, surrounded by a host of Broncos there. Eli Willoughby on the main culprit on the tackle there. Also followed up by number 2, I believe, Rowan Cutney.
Yeah, really good job of staying on his feet. Obviously, you know, they're doing a good job of protecting these guys too. Quick whistles on that return. It was pretty high punt again as well. So $1:35 on the clock here, and we'll get back to work. CCH from the 30. Oh, no, we had a holding on CCH. We're going to back that up.
Just want to also, you said back to work. A lot of people maybe aren't at work this afternoon, as there are a lot of people, friends, family, lined the sidelines here in the end zone. Not sure if you can quite pick it up, but good to see a lot of people out supporting local football.
Absolutely, and definitely proud to put this presentation together here on London Football TV for anybody who couldn't make it down to One Password. Of course, this stream will be available live afterwards. Luckily, there's no PA music or anything like that that could get our stream shut down here at One Password. So, nice little play here. So, CCH putting another run game here together, 2nd and 4, and we'll be snapping the ball here from the 32-yard line.
As we see Charles come back onto the field, looking to defend roles here, one of the main receiving options for the Crusaders. Interesting that they have him in at corner and not safety, maybe not trying to change up a whole lot when it comes to their defense. As Sims gets the ball here, looking to rumble and stumble his way for another quick 10 yards and a 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, Rolls being one of the biggest threats on the outside. Maybe they're just keeping him out there for that one-on-one. Rolls a dangerous threat downfield.
Absolutely. Had an incredible season with, I believe, the Thunderbirds this past summer. Was a great receiving option for them. Traditionally an H-type player, somewhere where, you know, you'll get him moving across the formation. But when you have 2 backs like Sims and Manning, you got to move some other playmakers into some other spots.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's get back to work here with a fresh set of downs from the 45-yard line. Troopish sending a bunch of guys in motion. High snap, but he's able to bring it down and give it to Keyshawn Manning, who squeaks through, just gets through a little head tackle, and he's going to get another 1st down for CCH.
Second effort there by Keyshawn. Again, high snap. Jed able to get it to him. Gets through. You got to get all of Keyshawn, and if you want to bring him down, and that's going to buzz it here at the end, last play of the 3rd quarter.
And as we see here, he does his own little, what do they call it when you gotta do the
Limbo?
The limbo. He does his best limbo impression that he can so far. Thank you so much for the assist there, Everett. He does his little best limbo impression and picks up another 10 yards.
I just did a limbo the other night, putting up the wreath and decorating for Christmas.
Well, the Broncos D-line doing a much better job of containing Keyshawn Manning on that one, and I'm going to come down and reset the clock.
And just a lot of, to mention Christmas there, the holiday season coming around. make sure that you support your local football team and your local football players. With 2025 just around the corner, both the London Minor football program and the London Junior Mustangs are doing drop-in sessions for those athletes who do want to end up pursuing the game of football, one of the best games on the planet, and make sure that you get to enjoy the game.
Yeah, and I've already had a bunch of people reaching out, like LMFA just finished, and how can I stay involved? Like, if their kids want to keep playing ball, full respect to that. So all those camps should be starting in January and February. I think I saw Mike Stenning here, the Junior Mustangs at one point. Maybe we can get a semi. I know the registration went up this week, so definitely check that out at LondonJuniorMustangs.com, or just check it out on, I think there's a Facebook post on it as well, too.
And we get the shot of the line of scrimmage here. Let's shout out the big fellas as we go back to the action here. Start of the fourth quarter. CCH up 20-0 over the Banting Broncos.
Yep, and let's put the ball in the air and find Kiba, brought down by 7 of the Banting Broncos. But that is going to be enough for a first down.
And just a quick hitter there, Everett. I'll let you continue there.
You'd think Crusaders up in the fourth quarter, keep the ball on the ground. Well, that's what maybe you want them to think. Pull that ball and hit Kiba coming across the middle, makes a great reception.
Absolutely, and I believe that, so that is Kiba on the reception there. Quick hitting, great job from the offensive line to make that run look like it is a run, right? Make sure you get that run look, force the linebackers to come upfield, respect the running game. As we see number 67, Jordan Silvestri, as someone who we've called his name quite a bit so far this game. A little bit worse for wear, bumps and bruises coming off the field.
Well, 11:43, we're into the fourth quarter live here, One Password Park. You got London Football TV here on YouTube, and this stream will be live indefinitely going forward, so you can definitely catch and snip it up for all your highlights. Please just give us a little shout out on that. And again, if you're just joining us, lots of people on the stream. We're looking to give back to the community here too. The Super Thanks is activated in the chat, so if you want to donate through that, all proceeds past processing with YouTube will be donated to local clubs to help families in financial need to keep all these boys playing ball.
Manning showing his patience there once again, waiting for the hole, completely okay to kind of jog his way for a quick 3-4 yard gain, then explode, hit the hole for the last 2 yards, brings up a 2nd down and 5 for the Crusaders.
Yeah, nearing that 11-minute mark here as the clock ticks down, 2nd and 5. CCH just looking real comfortable, just real dialed in on the field. But the Banting Broncos still sending tons of pressure here. So we knew we were going to have a juggernaut of a game here, Coach. And I think we're still seeing it here on the field as we see Kiba go across jet motion. No, we're going to pull this one. Jetty's just going to keep this one. And he's down at the 30-yard line, which should bring up about a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, that far side official was pointing. He's got his 3 up in the air, just short, but good hard run by Jed. He's a quarterback who doesn't shy away from any type of contact.
Well, as we see Agent Zero enter the chat on the field, right? So we know we're going to see this big jumbo package and see we can just sneak over the line.
3rd and less than 1. So ultimately, you got to trust your offensive line to get it done.
Here we go. Let's give that to Sims. Sims finds the hole. It's going to get brought down, but it's definitely going to be enough. He gets about 4 yards on that carry, and it's another CCH first down.
And we've spoken a lot about Sims and Manning and Troupish and Kiba, but we got to give credit to the CCH offensive line. They have been absolutely exceptional this game. They have risen to the challenge. They were dominated in their last matchup versus Banting, where Banting was able to take that game. But they have shown up. They have shown out. Huge credit, and I'll name them all off here. Number 50, Gio DeSando. Number 55, Stuart Walsh. Number 65, Liam Davis. Number 60, Lucas Teixeira. And Will Hunt, number 66. As we see another run come from Sims, and he is swallowed up what looks to be in the backfield by a host of Banting defenders. Number 75, the easiest number to spot there at the end. That's Merrick Jacqueline de Tibero on the tackle.
Yeah, just a great job of gap control from the Banting Broncos today. I've been very impressed by this defense. And, speaking of, we're talking two-way players. We've got Kovac Stahoviak out here covering Tyson Serpa in this one-on-one on the boundary as well, too. So that's a long, long day for these boys to be putting in the work in this cold.
Absolutely, but it keeps you warm, right? Unlike us on the sideline, your fingertips starting to get a little bit extra red as we see the Crusader offense come on back out. Troop is back to pass. Ball is out. picked off by Stahoviak. Banting finds the turnover that they need as Stahoviak looking to find his way back to his own end zone. He has a host of blockers ahead of him, looking to run down the sidelines here. Sims is the only one that can make a tackle here. Slowed up and tackled at the 52-yard line. That's the turnover that Banting needed to end up finding a way back into this game here. 8:39 left in the fourth quarter. That's the plus possession that you need. Ball hung just a little bit too much in the air from Troopers, leads to a turnover.
Do you get the replay, Sherps?
I do not.
Oh, no. All right, well, you can go back on the YouTube and just, dial it back 15 seconds. Great big play here from Kovan Stahoviak. 8:39 on the clock as we look to finish off this TVRA championship game.
Stahoviak did come off there kind of favoring that right arm a little bit. Hopefully he's able to get back in this game, as that was a great play
As we're
from a great player.
just talking about him playing both ways too, and it's just like, oh yeah, hey, in case you don't mind, let's have you run 50 yards as Charles is brought down in the backfield, and that'll bring up second and about 14.
And that's number 54, Luis Alves, that's on the tackle there. Haven't said his name a whole lot, but he's making a big play when it matters. And Dylan Machado coming in at the end of the tackle there. CCH still able to get some pressure, even with backups in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Machado, another guy's been playing forever at high school, in the summer club as well. I believe, if unofficially, he's heading to the Okanagan Sun next year. Which is exciting to see, and it'll be some more CJFL action to watch here as well, too. I'll start watching those BC games.
Absolutely. He's one heck of a player. So as we see the pass potentially come here, Charles throwing the ball.
Off the middle. Good job there by the defensive backs and the corners.
And that's
of the
number
Crusaders.
88, Grayson Marsh on the stop. The corner. Haven't said his name a whole lot, but we also haven't thrown the ball a whole lot. So good to see them getting involved and making the plays when they need to.
Have to think that at this point, time is for the Broncos ticking away. They got to maybe start making some of those plays. Tyson Serpa
In the game saying, hey, guys in the
somehow
chat.
says, hey, guys, not sure.
Not sure how he's doing that.
Is Serpa got his phone on the sideline? Or does somebody make
might
an
have some
account?
trolls.
Somebody made an account called Tyson Serpa.
Maybe.
We do have Oakley McNeil says, hi, Mr. Hamner, student at CCH, is on the hockey team. So, hey, Oakley.
Well, here we go. Charles having a look downfield. Nope, going to keep this one up the middle. Going to get himself a first down here. Looks like he's going to get
Very
just across the
close.
line.
Yep.
I believe they did pick up the first down there. Sticks are going to move for the Broncos as they look to put their first points on the board today.
Well, marching. It's been obviously turning point play for this drive was the Stahoviak pick, bringing it back down across the center. And we're going to get a fresh set of downs here at the 40-yard line. Let's see what the coaches here at Banting have in store for us.
As you're going to believe, a 22-set Kindry adding into the formation. Another handoff to Stahoviak. Just swallowed up in the middle of all of those CCH defenders. Number 65, Liam Davis.
I was going to say that looked like a Davis trying to rip that one out. Doesn't get it. Gets about a gain of 1 here. So second, no, we're going to move that marker one more time. We're going to go 2nd and 8.
And ultimately, Stahoviak might be a little bit banged up from the process and from the game already. Just have to ensure that you're still moving your feet. You're still trying to get the ball moving here as we get the Broncos breaking out into their offensive formation.
Well, similar look we saw before. 4 guys in the backfield here, sending a bunch of them in motion. No, let's pull this one. Charles looking to put it in the air. He does. And it's picked by number 4. Who's going to bring this one back? Is brought down by Charles. Give me a name on number 4, sir.
Number 4, William Monroe, the safety for the Crusaders, coming through with the interception. Obviously, Charles a little bit upset from throwing that interception. Does end up making the play here as CCH does get the stop here to stop this Banting drive.
Great job there by Monroe. Monroe's a big energy player for the Crusaders. Someone, again, tough as nails. Played really hard all season long and comes up with a big play in a big game for his Crusaders there.
Absolutely huge stop for CCH to continue to pitch the no-no word that we're not going to use right now, but a good opportunity to see if CCH is going to continue to push the ball down the field and try to run the rest of this game out.
Troopish hands this ball off to Manning. Manning cuts up the middle, is brought down by a couple of Broncos here, gets himself a healthy healthy run here, about 4 yards, so 2nd and 6.
And when we look at the game so far and what we've seen coming into the fourth quarter here, it's been a dominance from the lines of scrimmage, right? Both teams have tried to establish the run and run the ball here. As we're seeing the CCH offensive line looking for the call, they've just been able to move and do what they want to do on the offensive side of the ball. Banting really hasn't had an answer.
Well, Troop is sending a couple of guys in motion to the field. Let's give this one to Manning. Manning's going to follow behind all those blocks. Gets a nice healthy run again, probably another 4 yards, so about third and 2, 3rd and 1 here.
Looking to be about, 3rd and short here. Maybe a long one, we'll call it that.
2.5?
2.5, looking to be like that. You take the safe play. I think you just punt the ball away here. You got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. You just want to make sure that, you end up getting the punting unit here. Still play the field position game. Force Banting's offense to get them back into the game. Don't give them anything for free.
And they're going to need to air it out and throw it, and that's been difficult. So for sure, in which you've got as strong a punter as the Crusaders do in Oscar.
Oh, bit of a high snap. The wind grabs that one.
Almost blocked. Short kick here, touched by the Broncos. I would assume some flags are coming and would be flying.
Yeah.
But
we got one over here just
we'll
to the
see
right.
One at the end. I'm assuming that's the no yards call.
Yeah.
So if you're Banting right now, you got 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game, right? What are you trying to do that ends up that ends up getting you back into this game?
I'm just running Wildcat with everybody on everybody who can run a ball.
Sam Lorenzo, Crusader alumni, just with a $20 donation to the stream. So big ups to Lorenzo. That is, again, going to go back to supporting London football, helping people be able to get on the field if there are maybe some hurdles to getting on the field. As we know, it's unfortunately not as easy as everybody to be able to play a sport if they want to. So
absolutely. One, and you got clubs like the Stangs, you got the Birds, and you got the London Minor especially, which is where all of this starts. And, they've all got funds to help families that need help. So, again, if you're just seeing that now, we've got the Super Chat turned on. You're able to donate however much you'd like, or there's some preset amounts. All the money pass processing on YouTube will be going directly to supporting kids playing football here in the city of London.
As we see the Broncos offense come on out, ready to start their drive here. Definitely need to put some points on the board or else they'll be too little too late. Handoff to Stahoviak. Ends up picking up about, let's say, a healthy 4 yards here for the Broncos.
Yep. So 2nd and 6 from about the 53-yard line here, Mr. Sherville, as the clock continues to count down as we get closer to 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes left in this game. And again, is it going to be the fact that, you lose the game, or do you run out of time? Right? You got to put some points on the board here. You can't continue to wait and see what happens with your offense.
Yep, let's pull this one. Coming to the bottom side of your screen is Emmett Charles. Emmett Charles looking to break through. Is able to get it, just gets pushed out of bounds by number 8 at about the 40-yard line.
Number 8, Garen Rolls, pulling double duty on both offense and defense here. Also slowed up by Isaiah McLean. Now you're starting to see Charles get to that more physical aspect of his game, right? Something where he is able to run people over, just hasn't really done that yet, just because there's always been a host of CCH defenders already near him.
And that's that threat, right, that you have at quarterback, able to pull it, and he got the edge. He's been trying it a few different times and was able to get it this one. Big gain.
Banting 2-by-2 with Stahoviak in the backfield. Little jet motion coming across. No, let's give this to Stahoviak, who is able to just hurdle his way through the middle. And nice healthy gain here from Stahoviak.
Very close to a first. Are they signaling first? They got it.
Looking like they picked up the first down there.
So we'll move the chains. Charles getting some instruction from the side. We're getting a little speed, a little tempo here in a 3-by-2 receiver set for Banting. Let's give it back to Stahoviak again, who's going to get swallowed up in the backfield this time. Looks like 35 and 24, Mr. Machado in the mix.
Machado in there. Woj, defensive end for the Crusaders, he's had a heck of a season, first season playing football for Woj, but he has made a big impact from the Crusaders. We're at the 3-minute warning here.
I need you to come down and fix this.
Okay.
There was some negative stuff being said in the chat, so I just hid the messages for now. Okay, cool. Thank you.
We're back.
Let's see Charles booting out to the right there. Pass off. Thrown completed to McBurney. Glad to see the Bronco offense starting to move. There's 3 minutes left in the game. I believe both teams with one timeout. Or two timeouts. Two timeouts remaining,
full
sorry.
timeouts for both, so.
Banting looking to put up their first points of the game here.
Charles going to roll out to the right side. Machado's got him in the backfield.
Machado looked like he waited till waited till the very last second to decide, am I going to pull it? Am I going to keep it? Elected to pull it, and Machado was pretty much right on him there.
As we see the Bronco offense come back out, second down and about 11 here. Trying to put a scoring drive together. Charles, ball in the air. Batted away by number 8, Garen Rolls.
Rolls swatted saying, not up in here.
Not up in here.
Not in my one password house. 2:32 left on the clock here from one password. You got Everett Hamner joining from the LFTV live crew,
and
CCH junior coach as well.
Just to note here, so coming up, third down, second?
I believe it's third
Second.
down
And they
here.
can get a first down without getting into the end zone. They have about a yard to go there, so.
It was second and a long little bit there. So, yeah, they just ticked over the stick to third down here. Third down, Banting knocking on the door for the Crusaders. Charles back to pass. The rush is coming. Machado in his face, forcing Charles to continue to run as he pulls the ball down. Lots of green space in front of him as he looks to pull and throw the ball. Looks like he is pushed out of bounds.
Or did he get in?
Or did he get in? We don't know.
I can't.
He gets
Yep,
in.
hands up,
Gets
touchdown,
in.
Banting.
And that's what you needed to rebound with if you're Banting here. 2 minutes left in the game. Your big threat, Emmett Charles, getting it into the end zone on a broken play on third down.
.218 left. A little bit of barking going on.
Yeah, a little bit of
between the
yapping
two.
between both of the benches here. One team has, a 13 or a 14-point lead. I don't know if I'd be talking, but that's just me.
Here we go. Well, Banting PAT group coming out for the first time today. Obviously, they were out for a field goal attempt earlier.
Yeah, looking like a PAT here. Kicker number 34, Noor Al-Sahani, coming out to put some points on the board for the Broncos.
And
Through
that
the
one's good.
uprights, and another point on the board for the Broncos.
I think we got to give credit where credit is due on that touchdown. That is a second and third effort play. The Crusaders had pressure. Charles, able to scramble, keep the play alive, boot back around the other side, got some help from his blockers downfield, able to turn that corner and get into the end zone for a touchdown, kind of willing his team onto the scoreboard.
Absolutely. When you are a special athlete like Emmett Charles, that's what you have to do in order to keep your team in this game. But when you have someone like Emmett Charles who can just command presence with the ball, make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys mix on his way to the end zone, that's what you're going to need if you're Banting to come back into this game.
And so speaking of coming back into this game, the ensuing kickoff, you'd have to think going for potential onside. I think if you're the Crusaders defensively, at least, the receive team looks like everybody's up front having maybe a hands team on.
I would assume some sort of hands team is going to be coming onto the field here. If you're Banting, you got the plus, you ended up having the plus possession, just did nothing with it. Unfortunately, threw an interception, but you gotta find another possession here, right? If CCH is allowed to run the ball for the last 2 minutes of the game, you're not going to have another possession. So you got to find a way to get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Try to kick the ball towards Emmett Charles, let him jump up there with his absolute incredible athleticism, and attempt to get another possession.
Also, so you're saying there's a chance, right?
Absolutely, there's always a chance.
Oh, here we go.
Coach Kurowski's going to call a timeout from the Crusaders. The chess match has begun.
Yeah, the chess match continues here. Crusaders call a timeout here.
Banting didn't.
Trying to make some adjustments onto the hands team, see exactly who is where, right? Who are you going to force to send as a blocker? Who's going to be the one that you're going to try and get the ball to and try to end up icing this game out?
I love it. I love it. This is the best. You get tight game. Well, scoreboard-wise, actually not as tight as I'm sure Banting would have liked, but big. It's not over till it's over, right? They're out there trying to get it. You're going to use your timeouts. You use them. Calls a timeout. See what you have. Get the messaging in to your players. Hey, we saw them in this. Be ready for this. Be ready for A, B.
And if you're the Banting Broncos here, right, obviously you're going to try and get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, and that is obviously number one, Emmett Charles there as your best playmaker that you have on the field right now. How difficult is it actually to get the ball in his hands on an onside kick, right? The receiving team has to respect the 10 yards. The ball also has to go 10 yards. So do you try to kick it along the ground? Do you try to get a little bit of air underneath it, let him jump up and use his athleticism? How is that going to work for the Broncos? We shall see.
2:18 left to go here in the city final, the WASA final. Crusaders against the Banting Broncos. Banting in their first, trying to get their first city championship. The Crusaders, they've won a few.
Well, we're getting some adjustments coming in from the
Last
coaching
minute
staff.
adjustments here.
CCH, absolutely.
I would assume they're going to try and get the ball to Charles here. Look at him already in motion. A little bit of air underneath this ball.
It went 10 yards.
And CCH has recovered at number 7 on the catch there. That's Isaiah McLean. Easy catch. Take a knee. Let your offense attempt to run this ball out.
Well, what do we got left for timeouts? Have you got that?
One for the Crusaders, because they just used theirs. And Banting still has 2, I believe.
Yep.
Well, 2:17 on the clock here, gentlemen, and a 20-7 affair. A bit more of a disparity on the score than we thought. Sheriffs and I were talking pregame, Everett, that we thought this one would be a little closer, but we know when you got your dog, one of the heavier dogs, missing on this Banting side of things, then definitely a bit of a different tempo to the game as we see this run game attack coming here from CCH. Nice big healthy run, should be about a 7-yard gain. And that'll bring up 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4.
And this is one of the best moments that you can have as an offensive lineman, right? You got the 2-score lead. The opportunity is in your hands to close this game out. Russ Grimm, Hall of Fame offensive lineman for the Washington Commanders, formerly known as another team name. The best part about playing offensive line is pushing someone from point A to point B against their will. And that's what the Crusaders are attempting to do right now.
Well, and doing a good job of letting the clock run down as we're nearing the 2-minute mark here. We're going to get under it.
And this has been the CCH offensive line has just given Kiba and all their running backs by committee here. Sims again right up the middle. It's going to be short, or depending on the spot.
It's definitely short by about
but
2 yards here.
Offensive line has just this when it's super windy like this, you know you have to run the ball. They have run the ball, and the offensive line has made that happen. So, really, in a championship game, it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage. Who's, going to get that extra inch? Crusader offensive line has helped them get more than an inch today.
Timeout Banting. No, timeout CCH.
I believe Banting had called the timeout there.
Oh, they just pointed left. Okay, yeah, I was going to say. I don't know why CCH would pull it. So, 148. I want to thank you again for joining us here on London Football TV. You got Dylan Scherves on color and play-by-play and camera today. Learning all about the two-man team today. Dylan, Everett joining us at halftime. You've been an absolute pleasure to have here for the second half, sir. And despite you both being CCH affiliated, good job keeping it semi-unbiased, right?
Yeah, you got to keep it unbiased. You got to give the flowers where it's due, right? Banting has earned their way to be here. Obviously, beating CCH in the regular season, right? Just not having the same personnel. That might be all the difference here as we see Coach McKay coming off the field in regards to coaching his defense and making sure that, they have the opportunity to get a stop here and potentially make this game a lot closer.
Yeah, I mean, last time I called this game was with Simon Cantor. It was 30 degrees out, so a bit of a different game today for sure.
Absolutely.
Hands it off to Trey.
Trey Potter, Agent Zero, getting the first down. And that'll bring us down to 1:43 on the clock with a fresh set of downs here for CCH. And I'm assuming we're not going to see a whole lot of different here, gentlemen, and then we'll just keep chunking this down.
Yeah, you just ice the clock here. You end up running the ball out, letting your big boys do the work up front and ensure that you get the job done here. Looking like the ball running down the clock.
Ticking down the clock.
Yep. Here we go. Sims on the carry.
Picking up about 4 here.
Should get us down to 120.
Timeout, Banting.
I believe that's our second timeout here.
As so your camera guy and chat cleaner upper as well there, Mr. Sherbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's all good. Hey, if you'd like to get involved in one of the streams next year, I'm assuming we'll be doing this for a little while. There's lots of jobs here too. If you want to run a camera, you want to get involved on the production side of things, there's literally somebody normally just running the score clock. If you'd like to be an admin on a chat, just get a hold of us in the off season. We'll be back doing this with the Junior Mustangs and spring summer ball as well too, and then definitely back for high school next year. So great way to get your volunteer hours, and just a cool way to get involved in one of the broadcasts as well. So 1:20 here, gentlemen. Fourth quarter, WASA finals. One Password Park. You got Adam Melrose, Dylan Sherville, and Everett. I say it wrong all the time. Is it Henmer or Hemner? Hanmer. Okay,
it's the N before the M. It's the opposite of the alphabet.
I always
it's hard. And sometimes you look at it, it looks like hammer.
I struggle with my elemental P's. So
Yeah.
there we go. All right, here we go. $1.20. 2nd and 7.
Coach McKay in the backfield here for the Crusaders.
Let's give, wow. Let's just give it to Keyshawn Manning, who's going to get a first and a whole lot of extra as we keep marching down the field. $1:13 on the clock.
Oh, march right down the field?
Hey,
do I know the...
Don't get me too excited.
All right, you guys aren't okay. You're not allowed to sing until the game. All right, give me camera 1 back.
There we go.
Next year I need less CCH guys, all right? Here we go. Troopage going to give this one off to Manning. Manning making all sorts of cuts. Flags flying. And we'll see what the White Hats got to say about this as we got about 56 seconds left on the clock.
Looked like some holding in the backfield there outside the cylinder. Got to make sure that you're doing the right things in order to close this game out.
Couple substitutions coming in for the Banting Broncos. Something we were talking about earlier as well, too, is toughest part of one of these situations here, guys, is this could literally be your last football game if you're in grade 12 or grade 13. And hopefully a lot of these guys get to play at that next level. But as we all know, eventually got to hang them up. And it's a tough occasion here with the 56 seconds left on your career in some
Absolutely.
cases.
But if you are in this situation, make it the best 56 seconds of your entire career, right? You might not get a chance to strap them up anymore after this, so you got to make the best of what you got.
Well, let's give this one back to Keyshawn Manning. Manning's going to basically just take the same path he took last time, get a couple of those yards back from the penalty, And that should bring us down to 51 seconds on the clock.
That's right. And again, another run by Keyshawn Manning where he's patient, makes someone miss in the backfield, waits for the hole to develop and open up, and then hits it for a nice gain.
Head referee's going to whistle this one in. Still got Manning in the backfield. As Trupish is getting a few last-minute calls from his coaches on the sideline. Go, Trupish gives this one back to Manning. Manning cutting up the middle again. And that's going to bring us down to about 3rd and probably 12.
Maybe an injury or player. Yep.
All right. Well, as medical staff are coming out here, and cameraman too, Dylan Sherville, going for a little walk over to the sideline, just catching a little bit of action on the CCH side of things. I think we'll, he said he wanted to run a camera. He was pretty excited about it, Everett. And here we are. He's over there with purse shots right now. Let's get a shot of this because.
Yeah, he's got it switched to that. With 32 seconds left, the Crusaders, just less than a minute away from a championship. And this game they will win in advance to play in their OFSA, which will be Monday, November the 25th, down the 401, that long straight drive to the 401. And it's at Ackman Stadium, St. Clair. And they will play at 7 p.m. against the winner of Swassa.
Absolutely. Well, we've got Coach Kurowski on the camera as we see the injured Crusader getting helped off the field by a couple of his teammates, and the medical staff doing a good job today. The medical staff today had to deal with a few different things. Players, camera guy who got taken out on the sideline. So word to the wise, if you're a camera guy at a football game, do not get within 2 yards of the sideline because the refs, I promise you, will not stop for you because you're not supposed to be there. So, and I've been there myself too. I got chipped in the shoulder at Citywide a couple of times. So here we go. 3rd and 13. Crusaders obviously just keeping with it. Looking to just keep melting this clock down as they whistle it back in here, Everett, with Trupish and Keyshawn Manning in the backfield.
3rd and about 12 to go here.
Yep, and I think we're just doing a good job of waiting for the clock to wind down before we snap this. And timeout. CCH, 12 seconds left. And this will pretty much do it. Now, where is Shervs right now?
He is.
Okay,
he's down back by the fence line.
He's
here.
right in the mix. I think he's trying to catch the celly here once we get there.
I don't know how to switch.
I got it.
You got it.
I got it up here. I got it up here. So, all right. So here we go. We're going to whistle this one in. And we're going to give this one to Kiba. Kiba is going to take this to the outside, makes a couple of guys miss. The ball is out. He's fumbled it, and he's out of bounds. And we should have
be a first down.
First down, but 3 seconds left. I thought they were just going to let it run down once it was whistled back in, but maybe one more play.
What a play call. That's a play that the Crusaders have ran all season. That sweep.
Well, we've got, I think we just, I don't know if Shervo got it, but we had the
water jug?
The water jug bath happened just now. And we'll get back to the last play of the game. Barring a penalty, of course. 3 seconds left here. Thanks again for joining us for this WASA final from One Password Park. Everett Henmer, Dylan Sherville, and Adam Melrose here on the call on a 3-man team that is normally ran by about, a bunch more people than that. So here we go. Last play of the game. CCH is your 2024 WASA champion as we get Sherville in the mix on camera too. Congratulations to the Banting Broncos for making it this far. Obviously, we talked about them making it to a semi last year, and this year is was it 5-peat for
CCH junior
for
football.
junior, right? And the first time the CCH has been back here since 2021, if I've got that information correct.
Yeah.
And just an absolute wonderful season from both of these teams, and a big congratulations to everybody involved. So we're going to get the greatest handshake of all football as we get Shervo running around on the field too. Just abandoned his post. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm getting out on the field to get some good film here. So
This is the 24th city championship win for Catholic Central High School, the first since 2021, and the Crusaders, the first city championship win for head coach Alexander Karowski, Crusader alumni. He's the athletic director. Great win for him and that coaching staff, full of a lot of experience. And the Crusaders advance to OFSA, where they will be seeking their 4th OFSA title. Crusaders have won 3 OFSA championships.
yeah, absolutely. Well, big congrats to everybody involved today. I want to thank you and Dylan for being involved in the production. Again, if you're still in the chat right now, we're taking donations through the super chat right now for the City of London to give back to kids that need financial help playing the game. But let's flip it back, man. What a game here. I know Sherv's had all the notes. I think we thought it was going to be a little bit closer, but with McKay being out of this game, a bit of a different outcome. But Emmett Charles, absolute hats off to this guy for showing up and putting in the work. Is just as much an athlete, is just a fantastic player on the field as well too. And great shot here from Sherv. So Everett, I think we'll put a pause on the audio so you can go celebrate with your team as well too. And we'll be back here shortly with the trophy presentations. Can you hit the mutes on that, bud? Well, and a big congrats going out once again to CCH on a nice 20-7 win here at One Password Park. I believe trophy presentations will be here shortly, and MVPs being given out, obviously, and then the championship trophy to be awarded as well. We got Coach Dylan Sherville down on the field level to get you all those beautiful shots from up there. Well, Coach Mike standing, handing the championship trophy, or getting ready to hand it off to CCH. Yes, sir. MVP going to Nathan Sims for CCH, as voted on by a whole bunch of coaches here on the sidelines. Oh, and here comes the TVRA championship trophy being hoisted up by the CCH Crusaders. Well, and congrats once again from everybody here at London Football TV. This will be our last broadcast of the season. I'm sure We Digital will be covering the game in Windsor next week. We're going to take this out. So thanks again for a wonderful 2024 season, and we'll see everybody again in 2025.